Well, for that, let's get our start going. Let's get our start. Hey, Allie. Hey. Hello.
Rune Dannon.
All right.
Prince of the Valbarans.
There. Dr. Lego, look at that. She changed her name. That's legit. Aphrodite, welcome. Hello, Rune, make you mad? I love that. That's epic. First week at the new salon done and it went perfect. Great job, Allie. Congratulations on the transfer over. That's awesome. Allie, to celebrate your transfer over, which button would you like? Brooke, we are reading Project Hail Mary. Project, she says, I want the animals. All right, here we go. This button right here is to Allie for finishing her salon move and getting the first week done. Let's get to it. Y'all need to save me from... I got you, Dr. Lego. That's epic. Here you go, Allie. This one's for you. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. I am so happy with that freaking button. I am not gonna lie. I might have to post that one on the Tiki-Talkie. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to post that one on the Tiki-Talkie. Timmy, where are you? Timmy. Do it. I think I will. I needed to tell you what. I might just... Oh, Cuddle Pup, here you go. Hey, did you miss it? Do you need to see it again? I can easily play it again. Restricted. I don't know what that said. I don't know. All right, here we go. Oh, appreciate the follow. All right, here we go. Let's do it again. Let's go. All right. Dude, tomorrow night, yeah, watch party. That's gonna be legit. I'm excited. But speaking of that, we got to discuss that because mail arrived. Okay. We didn't get, so it'll have to be Monday. We'll go Monday. I didn't know. I didn't get a text. She got the lady. Okay, definitely. We will hit it up Monday for sure. Thank you. I'm excited. Heck yeah. Okay, so tomorrow's watch party. Excuse me. It doesn't start. New episode doesn't start until I think somebody said 9. We need. Is that verified? I was gonna pull that up really quick. I don't want to. I gotta get started reading a little early tonight because I want to read some chapters. But that's silly. All right, let's see. It does. So it starts at 8. Okay. So I know we had a few suggestions. I think when we said Fallout, that was what everybody was like, oh, hell yeah. I think everybody was, because there's 2 seasons of Fallout, right? I believe so. I believe. Coming out here with the sage. So I think what we wanted to, like I was going to say, when you get, that's funny. Okay, so I was going to say, since so many people were saying it was like Fallout, and then 2 seasons of Twisted Metal. So yeah, I was going to say if we wanted, we could either since the new house doesn't come out and it doesn't start until 9 or 8 o'clock our time, we could just start at that time and then start with House of Dragons, and then right after we can do one episode. Yeah, she's making all the bad vibes go away. All the bad vibes, because our garage door, my computer, the other thing.
Garage door?
I talked about the garage door last night. Damn, fucking spring pop a doodle doo, stunk. But anyway, so yes, so we can go from 3 hours down to 2 hours if you want, or we can go. It would be a Fallout and then House, and then back to Fallout. However, I don't know. I need to sage my house after my deck. Sometimes you just got to do it. So we can just do, we can go one, then back to the one, and or we can just do one and then the other. So we'll have time to discuss that tomorrow. We can discuss that while we're painting tomorrow. If you all are joining us, don't forget we are doing brunch for Father's Day. Believe it or not, I'm gonna paint with Liz. We're gonna paint Star Sword and Truth Teller. Now I understand might not be a lot of people here. That's okay. That is okay. I get it. Have time with your family, your friends, your fathers, brothers, uncles, cousins, sisters, single mothers, whatever. I don't give. Have fun with whoever you're hanging out with tomorrow. Don't stress about not being here if you're not here with us, but we will be here, just so you know. I like to keep things regular, so I don't want to rather. Hey, listen, we're going to be here probably most of the day, so we shall be here. When she comes, okay. Do I still have? Now y'all got me. I'm gonna see if I don't even know if I have that on my phone to post it to the Tiki Talkie. So I will have her. I might have her. Okay, here. I'm just gonna do it here. Everything. It's fine. It's fine, Wise. It's fine, Wise. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Wise. We're just we're just gonna. Okay, here we're gonna do this. Sure. I don't think anybody can see what I'm doing. Who knows? Who knows? Can y'all see what I'm doing? Hopefully not. Right. So he has a 2-hour drive back to Leavenworth. Ooh, Leavenworth. That's a fun place. At least the part of Leavenworth that I've been to is a fun place. Let me tell you that much. Oof. Okay, so I was I was gonna ask DW, because you said you caught up. Did you just get to 8 and then stop, or did you go past 8? That's what I was gonna ask that too. Where is my lord? There it is. Second vacation here, kids pay your taxes. See if that'll work. Oh, yes, it's only megs I can transfer it on Discord so much faster. I love when it works like that. The fact I use Discord now to transfer files from my PC to my phone. Y'all know what that's like? You know how much faster that is? Y'all got me. I want to post this. I just want to post this now because y'all were like, oh, it's pretty good. We'll see. What? What is Allie Grace? You got a story time. What is happening? What is happening? What? Oh my lord, we need to have a story time one day. Like, this is amazing. Like, for real. All right, where I just sent a message. There it is. And I'll go here. And then I am saving the video. It's good you can't go, right? Oh, y'all sent me some amazing dragons. Y'all sent me some amazing freaking dragons on that one. All right. So I'm posting this. Y'all are seeing me post live. We're doing a live posting on Tiki Talkie, y'all. Live posting on Tiki Talkie. Y'all watching live in the wise. Posting on Tiki Talkie. I might jump in later. No worries, Dr. Lego. Have fun. Tell the parents we said hi. Tell Mr. Raz we said hello, hello, hello. And if we don't see y'all tomorrow, happy Father's Day. Here's some good water and some good rune to everybody. Okay. Okay. All right. Did y'all see? Gotta turn the volume down. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Did y'all see P posted the freaking excuse me, the autograph she got today? I don't know who it is and what book it was, but it was cool. I think getting autographs are pretty freaking cool. I used to wait in line forever to get sports athletic players autographs. Another button brought to you. Do I call it a? I don't even know what to say. What do I call this? This is brought to you here. Another. What do I call this? Do I just call it a button? A wise welcome to our buttons. Welcome. What's a? See, this is why I don't know what to do, y'all. Welcome to the button. Welcome to. I'll just call it the newest button. Yeah. We'll just call it the button because that's what we call it. Welcome to the new, y'all. If y'all didn't, I spend almost as much time exporting videos, trying to figure this stuff out as I do exporting videos. Like, what do I say? I am not good with the words. I'm not all official and stuff. Welcome to the newest button. Hope you enjoy. Come join us live for more. Ooh, that sounded enticing. Probably not. It probably really didn't. Oh, I hear that one too. Trust me, I do that too. Because I'm not good with, like, y'all are learning me so many words. Y'all have learned, like, and I'm serious. I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. Like, y'all, like, I guess I am considered one of those people that's like functionally illiterate because I will change my whole sentence structure if I can't figure out how to spell or say the right word. But you know what I mean? But that's okay. Got me through 20. Man, what does that say about our military, though? Sorry. I'm just saying. What's up, love?
Nothing. Checking on you.
I'm posting the new button.
Posting the new what?
On the TikTok, yeah. Our animal button. Animal. I hate Father's Day weekend. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate you spending. I'm sorry that it is not enjoyable for you. But animal bottoms. It's okay. It's just a day. Trust me. I always look at it as just a day, but that one and the other one's inside. They're like, no, it's a special day for you. And I'm like, it's a Sunday. Like every other day is a Monday. You know what I mean? All right. I'm posting. It is now posting. It's now posting. Oh, she got S.A. Crosby. That's the book. Okay. That's who she got posted. All right, cool. All right, so that's posted. Ooh, you posted a new tiki-taki. Oh, those are beautiful pictures. I love those. Peek. All right, we are going to start some reading now. They're saying Liz face. They're saying hi to you. You ain't paying attention.
Sorry,
Not even paying attention.
Hi, guys.
All right,
Hi, guys.
don't even pay attention. Nice, beautiful friends. Don't even say nothing. Well, anyway. All right, so here we go. All right, let's get started. We got your rune. We got Allie little happy button. And then let's get started with Belle's on her road trip. So we're going to give Belle a wheel spin button because she had to do. We're going to celebrate Belle's road trip and her almost being home. So let me get up. Bella says hi to his face. Oh, hey, go ask your mom ask your mom where the clips are. The clips, our clips that we used to build they're in a basket. I don't know if it's over there. She might have taken them in, but I would like 2 please. But anyway, here we go. All right, here we go. A lot of hard things. I hear you. But DW and everybody else that's in Vegas, I think she's still here. Yeah, Vega. Yeah, saying that I'm going to like Starside. Well, then y'all should be happy last night because remember, Starside came out of nowhere and took the lead. It has 5 votes. So it has 5 votes. You know what I mean? So that has the most vote. Ooh. And then we got a Mistborn and a Riddick. Ooh, Vegas. Ooh, appreciate ya. All right, that way these don't pop off. We're gonna pop that right there. Hopefully it'll stay. And then we're gonna pop that right there. All right. All right. She says, "Oh, you totally will." 8 chapters in, and it's given Fourth Wing, Quicksilver, and Crown of Night. Oh. Okay, well, I know what Fourth Wing is. I've heard you talk about Quicksilver, and I know it's got old Kingfisher in it, I believe. And the Crowns of Nyaxia, we read that on the... Is that on our list? I don't think it's on the list. No, that one didn't make this round of the TBR, but I read it, and it sounded good. It sounded good. So I think that was one we had discussed. Listen, I did. Okay, question though: is Starside a series or a standalone? Is Starside? Yeah, is that a series or a standalone? What you know, boo?
Someone was
Holy shit balls, Batman! Nice series, but it's only. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So it might be 1, 2, 6, 7. Nobody really knows quite now. Makes sense. Okay. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Ooh. You know what's crazy is earlier it says I got a restriction. Okay, but where do I get to see where that restriction is? You know what I mean? It says you understand, but where is it? Live tip. You give me live tips, but you don't. I don't understand the tiki-talkie anymore. All right, but anywho, let us get into some story. All right. So, who here is I know. Okay, so Belle is still driving. Allie, I think you're just. Are you reading along, or are you just here hanging out, having a good time? I know this is inside doing something, and Veg's already read this, so I think it's... No, Nene joined in. Nice. Is she still here? She doesn't show on my list. I don't know. Sometimes she just pops in and then bounces out. I don't know. Okay, you finished it yesterday. Wow, nice. Heck yeah. Yeah, I know when it's done, I'm definitely watching the movie again because it's that freaking good. Oh. The Rhinestone of Iron Flame? Oh. Those are so, yes. Those are legit. You did the Fourth Wing cover when I was reading Fourth Wing, right? If I remember correctly, you were working on that? Was that you? Was it? Yeah, okay. I was like, was that you or was it somebody? I couldn't remember if it was somebody else or that was you. Okay, that was you. Okay, cool. See, I try to remember everything. It's just there's so many of y'all, and I know all y'all remember all the things I do, and I try to remember all the things y'all do, but sometimes I feel like I fail y'all. But anyway.
You never fail.
Oh, that was so sweet. How much did Mom pay you to say that?
Nothing. Oh,
you lying. Because I bought them Supergirl tickets. Ah, high five. See, you admitted it by high fiving. Haha. Nice. All right, well, you 6. I believe there's 6 of y'all. Y'all already hit 5K, so before we get started, let's get one more wheel spin because it's Saturday night and we can do that shit. And we got a system now, and I like to use systems that we have. So let's fucking do it. Because we can. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, little bitty? Ooh! What is that? That's a new one. You want to hit the honey pot for me?
Always.
Yeah. Love you, baby. All right. So that one was, what did I say? House of Beating Wings. Do y'all know that one? Do y'all know that one? That's a list pick. So I don't know that one. That's all her. That is all her. Oh, Vega's like, I got no idea. She's like, I have no. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. All right, well, we're about to get going. I am getting... Baseball game's going to be on a little bit later, but I'm just go ahead and putting the pregame on so that way I don't have to worry about it. All right. Here we go. Are you ready, Timmy? You ready, Timmy? All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages. Project Hail Mary, Chapter 9. Let's get to it. All right. I'll let the model float in the middle of the room. The xenonite is nearly indestructible, so I don't need to worry about it bumping into anything. Is this a good idea? I have a planet to save. And as awesome as it is to meet up with intelligent aliens, is it worth the risk? Yes, absolutely. The Iridans clearly understand astrophage, at least well enough to make engines out of it, and I think they're trying to tell me they're here for the same reason I am. Excuse me. They might have information I don't know. They might even have a solution I'm looking for. They seem friendly enough, but this is interstellar equivalent of a stranger offering me candy. I want the candy, information, but I don't know the stranger. What's the alternative? I ignore them? I could carry on with my mission as I never saw them at all. They're probably as spooked to see me as I am to see them. They might continue to talk, but they wouldn't get hostile, I don't think. Or would they? I have no way of knowing. This is a no-brainer. I've got to at least have a conversation with them, if they have any information about astrophage at all. No matter how minor, I have to talk to them. It's a risk, yes. But this whole mission is a risk. Okay, so what do I do if I were them? I am an Eridan. I want to build tunnels that connects to the weird human ship, but I don't know what human ship's material is made of. How can I guarantee any kind of attachment or seal? My xenonite knowledge is beyond dispute, but how do I connect it to the humanum, or whatever that ship is made of? Oh wait, hang on. Did I just go... Oh, okay, I went to Rocky all of a sudden. I was
ruining it.
I'm sorry.
You're ruining it.
I am ruining it.
Ruiner.
It didn't just say, it just said I am, and it didn't like flip over. Okay, got it. Sorry. I'm Iridan. Okay, I want to build a tunnel that connects to the weird human ship, but I don't know the human ship material is made of. How can I guarantee any kind of attachment or seal? My xenonite knowledge is beyond dispute, but how do I connect it to the humanum, or whatever that ship is made of? I've sent the humanum xenonite models, so he knows what I have, but I still don't know what he has. They need a sample of my hull. They'll need to know what the sample... They need a sample of my hull, and they'll need to know it's a sample of my hull. Right. I say to no one. I don't know if this is a good idea or a terrible idea, but I'm going to knock out a chunk of my hull off. I grab a seat of my EVA tools. They live in the lab drawer of 17E. I found them a while ago. They're on a tool belt I can clip onto the EVA suit and everything. Strat and the gang. Hey, Emily, what's up? What's up? What's up? Back in the world of service. What's up, babe?
I said hi this time.
You did. You're amazing. The EVA suit and everything. Strat and his gang made sure the equipment would need a whole ship repair if needed. No, that wasn't actually him. That wasn't him. That was Grace pretending to be him.
Yeah.
That was Grace pretend. Oh, I see. That's why I was like, why didn't they say? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Rune got to see the dam and the lake and the mountain. Hell yeah! Country roads take him home. He's Rune Dannon, and he's not alone. And they're in West Virginia. Not really, but anyway, digressing. Sorry. Okay, back to the story. I'm sorry, back to the story. All right, the Strats gang made sure we had all the equipment we would need for hull repairs if needed. Normally, it would be Ilyanka's job to fix this stuff, but she's gone.
Ilyanka?
Man, I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Isn't it like Ilyuka?
I don't... Ilyanka, really? You gonna come out here and start harassing me about my name is in word spellage?
Sorry.
Knucklehead. She gonna come out here like you don't live with me and know I can't use words properly. Come out here. Ilyana?
Like Ilyana Rasputin?
Ilyana? Ilyankna. Ilyukna. Ilyukna. Ilhiyukna. Ilhiyukna. Ilyukna. 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 Okay, we'll get it. Or she'll just be Bob.
That works like Bob Thunderbolt.
Okay, high five. Anyway, that's her job to fix stuff, huh? Random memory. Ilyunkna. Bob was our engineer, our fix-it gal. Okay, call her Bobette. I don't want to change her name. I mean...
Bob Yukna?
Bob Yukna.
Babadoo.
Okay, anyway. Sorry, you're distracting me. Sorry. Keep your cat butt out of the people's faces. Thank you. Well, it's not. I get back to EVA suit and back outside again, bouncing in and out, and it's getting kind of annoying. I hope this tunnel thing works. I make my way along the hall. Oh, hang on, we're going outside. We're going outside, folks. We gotta be safe. We gotta be safe. We gotta be safe. We're going outside. We're in our EVA suit. All right, here we go. Whew. I hope this tunnel thing works. I make my way along the hole, one tether adjustment at a time. And I get to thinking, what good is a tunnel exactly? I doubt we have compatible environments. We can't just connect the ships with the tunnel and shake hands. I think there's a lot of ammonia over there. And then there's the temperature. Those cylinders are hot when I get them. Some back of the napkin math tells me the first cylinder they sent should have lost 100 degrees Celsius or more during the 40-minute trip, depending on what temperature it started at. And it's still hot when I got it. So it was really hot when it left their ship. Likely way higher than boiling point of water. I try not to speculate too wildly, but come in. I am a scientist, and these are aliens. I'm going to speculate. Do Iridians live in an environment hotter than boiling of water? If so, it proves I was right. The Goldilocks zone is bull pucky. You don't need liquid water for life. I should be more focused on the first contact of intelligent aliens thing. Or the save all humanity thing. But gosh darn it, I can spend a moment to be happy of being right when everyone said I was wrong. Whew. Okay, I'm good. Thank you. I finally reach a spot of the hole that seems right for the job. I'm after the entire pressurized portion of the suit. We'll pass the part which widens out. I'm right. Standing up on a big empty tank that I'm used to full of astrophage. Cat butt. If I breach the hole here, it shouldn't matter. If I hammer out and chisel, there's nothing more elegant way to do this. But I can't think of anything better. I start to put one corner of the chisel on the hole and give it a little tap. There's a notable dent. It doesn't take much to get through the outermost layer. I use a hammer and a chisel to separate a 6-inch circle of the hole. I don't know if I would be chiseling the whole of my spaceship. You know what I mean?
He's on a death mission.
Let's
why not?
just chisel the whole of the spaceship. Have we really thought about that? Yep, but I'm just saying. Okay, a layer of something underneath. I can feel it with my chisel, probably insulation. I have to pry the circle out with the chisel. The underlaying holds strong, but then it gives away suddenly. The whole sample flies off into space. Shoot. I leap off the ship. I get a hand on the circle right before my tether snaps tight. Yaggle! I breathe for a second, think about how dumb I am, then pull myself back along the tether to the ship. Looking at the circle, it seems like there's a light foam substance attached to the underside. Styrofoam, maybe? Probably something more complicated than that. Probably not. It's American made. It's probably styrofoam. I hope you guys watch that, and I said, because I'm not doing that again. I throw the whole chunk at Blip A. Doing this right in front of them. They know for sure I'm sending them a sample of the whole. I hope it's enough for what they want to do. I don't even know if they wanted it or needed it. They might be looking at their screens right now saying, what is this really not smart guy doing? Is he poking a hole in his own ship? Why? That's what I'm saying. Why? Like, what's happening? I stay on the hole and watch the chunk of the tables as towel light. The multiple arm robot on Blip Bay's whole side along its rails for the reception. Once positioned, it waits for the whole chunk to arrive and makes a perfect catch. And then, I swear to God, it waves at me. Hi. One of its little arms waves at me. I wave back. It waves again. Okay, this could go on all day. I head back toward the airlock. Your move, guys. Oh, wheel spin time. You go spin the wheel. I got a cat in my lap. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, unless she's going to move. All right, make sure you spin the right way. Yep. Yep, down.
Oh, growing up.
There you go. Oh, she was raring up. Wheel spin time.
I'll tell you what it is.
Oh.
You don't gotta worry your pretty little head about it.
No, I can't see on the screen because it's so small. Girlfriend, no cat butts.
House of beating wings and honey pot.
Again? All right. Well, will you put a little tick mark on that? Body block, body block, body block. All right. Here we go. Chapter 9, continuation. Their move is taking a long time, and I'm getting bored. Wow, I am sitting here in a spaceship in the Tau Ceti system waiting for intelligent aliens I just met to continue our conversation, and I'm bored. That sounds like them. Human beings have a remarkable ability to accept the abnormal and make it normal. I looked through the controls of the radar panel to see what other features it has. After some digging through the preference dialogues, I find what I'm looking for, the proximity warning parameters, currently set at 100 kilometers. Fairly reasonable. You would expect things to be a million kilometers away, tens of thousands at the very least. So if some rock is within 100 kilometers of you, that's a major problem. I changed the setting to 0.26 kilometers. I worry it'll eject. The setting is too low, but it doesn't. I stretch my back and float out to the pilot's seat. Blip A is 271 meters away. If they get closer than 260 meters, or they'll send me another present that gets within that range, the proximity alarm will go off. I don't have to sit here and stare at the screens anymore. The control room will blare a warning as Blip A does anything interesting. I float down to the dormitory. Food! I say. The arms pull a box out of their little stash of the ceiling and stick it to my bunk. Someday I should look around there and see what's available. For now, I kick off the ceiling and float down to the food. The box labeled cat butt, day 10, meal 1, has a Velcro-like strip of the bottom that helps stay in place on the bedsheet. I open it, use it. I open it up and see a burrito. Burrito! Let's go. Not sure. Okay, it's a burrito. Turns out it's a room temperature burrito. Beans and cheese, some red sauce, all pretty tasty, really. But room temperature? Either the crew doesn't get hot meals around here, or the machine doesn't trust a recent coma patient not to burn himself on hot food. Probably the latter. I float up to the lab and put the burrito in the sample furnace. I leave it here for a few minutes before pulling it up on the tongs. The cheese bubbles or a cloud stream slowly emits all in the direction. I leave the burrito to float in the air and cool. I snicker. If I really wanted a hot burrito, I'd turn on the spin drives, do a EVA, and hold the burrito in a light emitted from that. It'd get hot really quick, as in, it would get vaporized, along with my arm and whatever else was in that blast range, because wheel spin.
Again?
Yep.
Damn.
That's what. Hey, I'm just going with what it goes. I'm just going with what it goes. Come on, Soggy Boo.
Trading.
Yep.
Okay.
Come on, girlfriend. Shoom. You. Boo-da-boo. Boo-da-boo. What is that?
House of Feeding Wings and Honey Pot.
Wow. Again. All right. There we go. Your mom saved me crazy. What's up, Ben? I don't know. It's in your head. All right.
In your head. In your head. I'll stop.
Thank you.
I did
All
that
right.
Twice.
Welcome to Little Russia, said Dmitri. He gave a theatrical wave of the aircraft carrier's low hangar. The whole ship had repurposed into a bunch of labs of full high-tech equipment. Dozens of lab-coated scientists toiled away at their task, occasionally speaking Russian to one and another. Dmitri denizens, we called them. We probably put on an effort in naming stuff than we should have. What do I feel like, Yanisha? Well, I guess we're not in space anymore, too. We're back in Russia right now. All right. Sorry, Yanisha. It's time to take a break. You don't have to. Sorry, I'm still here. You don't have to be there. That's funny, though. That is kind of funny, though. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Okay, probably more effective than naming stuff. I clutch my little sample container like a Scrooge with a bag of coins. I am not happy with this. Oh, hush, said Strat. I've only made 8 grams of astrophage so far, and I'm supposed to just give it away 2 grams? 2 grams may not seem like much, but it's 90 billion astrophage cells. It's for a good cause, my friend, said Dmitri. I promise you will like it. Come, come. He led Strat and me through the main lab. The center of the was dominated by a huge cylindrical vacuum chamber. The chamber was open and 3 technicians mounted something on the table inside. Dmitri said something in Russian to them. They said something back. He said some other thing and then pointed to me. They smiled and made a happy Russian sound. Then Strat said something stern in Russian. Sorry, said Dmitri. English only for now, my friends. For American. Hello, American, said one of the technicians. I am speak of English for you. You have fuel. I grip my sample containers tighter. I have some fuel. Strat looked at me the way I looked like a stubborn child in my class. Hand it over, Dr. Grace. You know my breeder doubles astrophage population over time, right? Taking away 2 grams now is like taking away 4 grams next month. She pulled a container out in my hands, handed it to Dmitri. He held the same metal vial up and admired it. This is a good day. I have looked forward to this day, Dr. Grace. Please let me show you my spin drive. He gestured for me to follow and bounce up the stairs into the vacuum chamber. The technicians exited one at a time and make room for us. All is attached, said one of them. Said one of them. Checklist is done, all ready for test. Oh, good, good, Dmitri said. Dr. Grace, Mrs. Strat. Come, come. He led Strat and me into the vacuum chamber. A thick, shiny metal plate leaned against the wall. The metal of the chamber and a round table with some kind of device resting on it. This is the spin drive, Dmitri beamed. It wasn't much to look at. It was a couple of feet across, mostly circular, but with one side of it cut flat. Sensors and wires came from the apertures all over the place. Dmitri lifted the top casting off to reveal the innards. Things got more complicated. Inside was a clear triangle or a rotor. Dmitri gave it a little spin. See? Spin drive. How it works, I asked. He pointed to the triangle. This is the revolver, high tensile strength, transparent polycarbonate. And this, he pointed to the nook between the revolver and the outer casting, this is where the fuel comes in. IR emitter in the part of the revolver emits an amount of light of 4.26 and 18.31 micron wavelength, which is the wavelength attached to the astrophage. Astrophage go through revolver face, but not hard on, but not too hard. Astrophage thrust is the base of strength of IR light. Yes. Dim light make weak thrust, but enough to make astrophage stick to surface. You rotate the triangle and align the edge of the flat part with the casing. Rotate 120 degrees. The face of revolver with astrophage stuck to it now. Point out back of ship. Increase strength of IR light inside. Astrophage now very excited. Bricked and clicked, he says.
That's not
Push.
what
Is what he say. You just don't understand. You are too young to understand still. Push very hard toward the IR light. The thrust. Petrova! Petrova! I think you're right, DW. Petrova is the new resonance. Frequency. Leaves back of ship. This pushes ship forward. Millions of little astrophages push back on ship, make it go. Yes? I bent down for a look. I see. This was no part of the ship that has been in the blast area of the light. Yes, yes, said Dmitri. Astrophage force limited only by brightness of IR light attracting it. I did very much math and decided best is make astrophage exhaust all energy in 4 seconds. Any faster and force will break a revolver. Yeah. He rotated the revolver another 120 degrees and pointed the remaining third of the casing. This is cleaning area. Squeegee wipes dead astrophage off revolver. He pointed to the cleaning area, then the fueling area, and then the open face. All 3 areas activate at the same time. So while this area cleans dead astrophage off his face, fueling area adds astrophage to that face, and the other face is pointed out back of the ship, providing the thrust. This pipelining means that the part of the triangle pointed out the back of the ship is always thrusting. Dmitri opened my vial of astrophage and set it to the fuel chamber. I guess since the astrophage will find their way to the triangle face, no special handling was required. He could just let the fuel see the IR. Come, he said. Experiment time. We left the vacuum chamber and Dmitri sealed it off. He yelled something in the Russian and all the Russians started repeating it. Everyone made their way to the far side of the hangar deck, including us. They set up a folding table and it had a laptop on it with Cyrillic. What is that word? What's that word? Huh? Cyrillic writing on. Cyrillic writing on the screen. Thank you. Miss Strat, how far is a carrier from the closest land? Dmitri asked. About 300 kilometers. Oh, about 300 kilometers, she said. I hit too many pages. This is good. Wait, why? I said. Why is that good? Dmitri pursed his lips. It is good time. For science. He pushed a button. There was a muffled whomp in the far side of the bay, followed by a hum, and then nothing. Experiment done. He leaned forward to read the screen. 60,000 newtons of force. He turned to the other Russian. 60,000. They all cheered. Strat turned to me. That's a lot, right? I was too busy staring slack-jawed at Dmitri to answer her. Did you say 60,000 newtons? He pumped his fist in the air. Yes, 60,000 newtons. That's a lot of fig newtons. Maintained for 100 microseconds. Oh my God. From that little thing, it started to walk forward. I had to see this for myself. Dmitri grabbed my arm. No, you stay here, friend. We all stay here. 1.8 billion joules of light energy was just released. This is why we needed vacuum chamber and 1,000 kilograms of silicon. No air to ionize. Light goes directly into silicon block. Energy is absorbed by melting the metal. See? He turned the laptop toward me. A camera feed from inside the vacuum chamber showed the glowing ball that was once a thick plate of metal. Whoa! I said. Yes, Dmitri said. That is Mr. Einstein with his E equals mc square. Very powerful stuff. We will let the cooling system work on it for a few hours. Uses seawater. We'll be fine. I shook my head in awe. Just 100 microseconds. That's 1/10,000th of a second. Dimitri's spin drive melted a metric ton of metal. Damn! All that energy has been stored up in my little astrophages, slowly harvested from the carrier's nuclear reactor heat over time by my breeder. I mean, the math all checks out, but to see it actually demonstrated like that, it was another thing entirely. Wait, how much astrophage did you use there? Dimitri smiled. I can only estimate based on thrust generated, but was close to 20 micrograms. I gave you 2 entire grams. Can I have the rest, please? Don't be greedy, Strat said. Dmitri needs to test further experimentations. She turned to him. Good work. How big will the real drive be? Dmitri pointed to the video feed. That's big. That is real drive. No, I mean the one on the ship. That, he said, pointing again. You want redundancy, safety, reliability? Yes. So we don't make one big engine. We make 1,000 little ones. 1,009, actually. Enough all thrust needed, as much to spare. Some malfunction during trip, not a problem. More thrust from the other to compensate. Ah, Strad nodded. Tons of little spin drives. I like it. Keep up the good work. Oh my God, Strat gave somebody a compliment. Holy shnikes. She headed to the stairwell. I stared at Dmitri. If I set you off 2 grams of that sample at once, he shrugged. Whoosh! We are vapor, all of us. Carrier too. Explosion would make small tsunami, but 300 kilometers away from land, so is okay. He slapped me on the back. And I owe you a drink in the afterlife. Yes. Ah, all right, wheel spin time.
Oh yeah, you don't have the cat this time.
I don't have the cat this time. There, we spin around. Super spins. Bum, bum, bum. Ooh, you want to hit Rick for me? Another. She's like,
Pretty cool.
she's like, I'm hanging out with my dad. All right, here we. Emily said she's burnt. Oh no! Don't be burnt. All right, here we go. Huh? I say to myself. So that's how the spin drive works. I munch on my burrito. So I guess I have 1,000 of those. 1,009. I hear Dimitri's voice in my head. Excuse me. At least that's how many I started with. Some probably went kaput during the trip. There's probably a panel on the spin drive console that'll tell me the status of each little one. The proximity alert interrupts my thoughts. Finally, I drop the burrito. It floats where I leave it. And launch myself to the control room. The hatch from the dormitory to the lab doesn't line up with the hatch from the lab to the control room, and there's a diagonal line of travel that will send me through both if I do it just right. She said M is supposed to be the unburnt, right? She said, despite the sunscreen, you have to reapply now. Remember, a lot of people, did you reapply? You have to reapply. People forget that. They just put it on. You have to reapply. I'm just saying. Digressing. I'm sorry. Right through both. I just don't get it right this time. Every hour? Dang, girl, you mean you might just need to just wear long sleeve. I'm sorry. You just might need to suck it up. I'm sorry. But Isaac is... Well, that's good. That matters. I don't get it right this time. I have to push off the lab wall en route. I'm still getting better at it. I checked the radar panel and sure enough, Blip A is approaching. Not a cylinder this time. The whole ship is coming my way. Nice and slow. Maybe they're going for the non-threatening kind of approach. In any event, it's almost here. Looks like the hull has a new addition. And that diamond part of the thing is as big as the whole Hail Mary. There's a cylindrical tube sticking straight up. The whole robot is sticking next to me, looking proud of itself. I may be an anthropomorphizing. What the fuck is that word?
Anthropomorphizing.
Exactly. That's so many syllables.
Anthropomorphizing.
That's what I'm saying. It's just so many syllables to say. Anthropomorphizing a tad. What the fuck does that even mean? Hang on. I ain't even pretending like I know what the fuck that means. The attribution of human characteristics or behavior to a god, animal, or object. Yeah, I will never use that word in my everyday life. All right, here we go. The tube looks like xenonite, patchy gray and tan with granite-like lines running its length. Hard to tell from this angle. When you attribute human characteristics to inanimate objects. Aha. I think I know what comes next. If they follow the plan they indicated with the model, they'll be pulling the other one on the other end against my airlock. How will they attach their tunnel? My airlock does have docking capabilities. She's like, I was close enough. I mean, I was with it. Probably for whatever ship brought me and my crewmates to the Hail Mary, but I can't expect Iridians to know the intricacies of the universal airlock. The Blip A edges ever closer. What if there's a mistake? What if they miscalculate? What if they accidentally poke a hole in my hull? Like you just didn't take a chunk out of your hull. I'm all that stands between humanity and extinction. Will an alien math error doom my entire species? I hustle to the airlock and pull the EVA suit on. EVA suit! All right, we got it on. Putting our suit on. But I'm there in record time. Better safe than sorry. But Bay's so close now. The telescope screen just shows a patch of molten hull. I switch to the external cameras. My hull is littered with them. They're all controlled from a window on the EVA panel. Always good to know where your astronaut is when giving them EVA instructions, I guess. The tunnel is about 20 feet long, or 7 meters. Man, being an American scientist sucks sometimes. You think in random, unpredictable units based on the situation you're in. The whole robot reaches out with some seriously telescoping arms. I had no idea it could do that. Extends well beyond the tunnel toward my airlock. Not creepy at all. 5 ever-growing alien robot arms reaching for my front door. No cause for alarm. Each arm's 3-fingered hands is holding something. A curved ball with a flat plate attached to the ends. And like a coffee mug handle, 3 of them reach the Hail Mary and stick the flat parts of their devices to my hull. Shortly after, the other 2 arms do the same. Then all 5 arms retract, pulling the Hail Mary towards the tunnel. Okay. So those flat things are handles, and they are attached. How are they attached? Good question. My hull is smooth and made of non-magnetic aluminum. Why do I remember that all of a sudden? The handles certainly aren't connected by any mechanical means. Must be an adhesive. And it all starts to make sense. Of course not. Of course they aren't going to work out how the docking mechanisms works. They're going to glue one end of the tunnel to my ship. Why not? Much simpler. My ship groans. It's 100,000 kilogram piece of equipment that was definitely not designed to be pulled along by its airlock. Will the hull pull up with this? I double check the seal of my EVA suit. The control room moves around me. It's just not fast. Just a few centimeters per second. Hey, for a small spaceship velocities, I think in metric. Much better than the cubics per fortnight or whatever. Cubics per fortnight. I will let the wall catch up to me. At some lizard brain level, I like being a little further from the airlock. Some scary stuff is going on over there. Clunk! The Iridian tunnel has hit the hull. Clicks and scrapes follow. I watch the whole camera feeds. The mouth of the tunnel, now firmly held in the airlock aperture, is larger than the entire airlock door. I guess that's it. Presuming the glue will hold pressure. They don't even know what my atmospheric pressure is. What's that glue made of? So many questions. I can't operate the control room panels in my EVA suit gloves. I wish I could zoom in or something. I squint at one of the feeds that shows the tunnel. It sure looks airtight against the hull to me. There's some curvature to the hole around that spot. Kind of complicated shape to make. But the Iridians duplicate it perfectly. After another minute, the robot arms let out of their handles, leaving them on the hull. A muffled sound comes from the airlock. It's the whooshing sound. Is that airflow? They're pressurizing the tunnel. My heart races. Can my hull handle this? What if their air dissolves aluminum? What if aluminum is highly toxic to the Iridians? What if one whiff of it kills them instantly? This is a terrible idea. Whoosh! Stops. I gulp. They're done. Nothing dissolved yet. I float over the airlock to see. For a look-see. I had both airlock doors sealed, of course. More protection in case of a breach. I open the inner door and float inside. I peek out the porthole windows. The blackness of space is gone, replaced with the blackness of the dark tunnel. I turn on my helmet lamps and angle my head to shine the light through the porthole. The end of the tunnel is too close. I don't mean I'm bothered by it. I mean the end of it is not 20 feet away. It's more like 10 feet. And while the rest of the tunnel is made of gray and tan and blotchy xenonite, the wall at the end of the hexagonal pattern of random colors. They didn't just connect a tunnel. They connected my airlock to theirs, with a wall in the middle. Clever. I close the inner airlock door with me inside and depressurize it. I spin the outer door hatch handle and push. It opens without resistance. The tunnel is a vacuum, at least. It is on my side of the divider. I think I see. This is a test. They had all the same concerns I had. Attach it. Let me pressurize my half with air and see what happens. Either it works or it doesn't. If it works, great. If not, we'll try something else. Or maybe ask me to try something. Okay, let's see. I tell the airlock to repressurize. It refuses. The outer door is open. Nice to know. The safety interlock is out there, but I'll have to work around it. It's not hard. There's a manual relief valve that will just let the air from the ship into the airlock. It bypasses all computer controls. You don't want someone to die because of a software malfunction, right? I open the relief valve. Air rushes in from the Hail Mary, and with the airlock wide open in the tunnel, within 3 minutes, the air flow slows and then stops. My suit reading tells me there's 400 hectopascals of pressure outside. Okay. The Hail Mary has equalized with the part of the tunnel. I guess the relief valve and the weight. I watch the internal pressure gauge on my EVA suit. The pressure stays at 400 hectopascals, and we have a good seal. The Iridians know how to glue xenonite to aluminum. Of course they do. Aluminum is an element, and any species could have invented xenonite in the first place. Must know that their way around the periodic table 1,000 times better than we do. Time for a leap of faith. I pop the seal of the EVA suit and climb out the back. The stronger smell of ammonia permeates the air, but it otherwise breathable. It's my own air supply after all. I push the EVA suit back towards the airlock. My helmet lamps are my only source of light, so I finagle the suit so the lights stay pointed down the tunnel. I float over to the mystery wall and reach out and touch it, but stop short. I can feel the heat even from a few inches away. Iridians like heat. In fact, I'm starting to sweat. The tunnel walls are heating up my air. It's uncomfortable, but not too bad. I can open the Hail Mary's inner airlock if I want my climate control to take over. Then our life support systems can fight it out. They'll keep the hot side hot, and I'll keep the cold side cold. Photo dump in the Flat Daddy thread. Yeah, add him up there, girl. Add him up, add him up. Even with the sweat forming on my brow and the strongest ammonia odor making my eyes water, I press on. I'm just too curious not to. Could anyone blame me? There are at least 20 little hexagons on the wall. They're all different colors and textures, and I think a couple of them might be translucent. I should catalog each one and figure out if I can identify what they are made of, looking closer. I see the definite seam running along the edges of the hexes. This is when I hear a sound come from the other side. Knock, knock, knock. Oh! Alrighty then, let's get in our chapters. Here we go. That was a kind of a poopy spin, but we're going to take it anyway.
How many coins does the book need to win?
It's just when the spot comes up, whichever has the most gets it. So it could be 5, it could be 10. Ooh, star side. My cheap cap cut effects. My cheap cat cut star side. Listen, I don't know how we're supposed to rank that one because you said it's 1, maybe 2, but it has the most votes right now. It is winning right now. So whenever we finally get to it. Oh, you're good, Em. You're Archer for you and Q. I got you. Listen, I do all my streaks in the morning. If people have streaks with me, they get them in the morning. I knock them out first thing. That was like my first priority with my morning rune and coffee. Morning rune, coffee, breakfast, and streaks.
Yep.
All right, are we ready? I'm ready for this part. Are we ready? I'm so ready. All right, here we go. Chapter 10, Project Hail Mary. Oh, thank you for the corgi. That's such a... DW, you and hallelujah. Right? No ticks. That's amazing. Thank you for the corgi, DW. You know what? You're going to get a spin for the corgi. You're going to get a spin for the corgi butt. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. Here we go. There you go. A spin for the corgi butt. Oh, what comes up? Ooh. You want to hit chili pepper? And she got her right. What? I even made it a little longer for you, DW. We made it a little bit longer. Look at that. Got a new... Wow, that was crazy. She got her own button on a spin. That's epic AF, y'all. Hell yeah. Oh, and the book was The Poet Empress. Ooh, P's gonna like that. P gonna like that for you, DW. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. All right, here we go. Are we ready? We are finally here. Chapter 10, Project Hail Mary. Ooh, I'm so excited. All right.
You got that? You hit that?
I did.
Up top.
Bam. They knocked, so only polite for me to knock back. I know the wall is going to be hot, so I wrap my knuckles as fast as I can. I knock 3 times. Just like they did. There's no immediate response. I take a long look at the hex wall. There are 40 hexes, I'd say. Each one to be unique, different materials. Maybe I feel like I'm supposed to do something or what. But... Brennan in space? Ah, she said Brennan. How did he get in space too? He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Brennan in space. That's funny. You don't get the joke. I'm sorry. From Fourth Wing. You're not cool enough like us because you won't read. Can't believe I made that joke. I read touche. All right. Shh, distracting me. Trying to get to the cool guy. There's no immediate response. I take a long look at the hex wall. There are 40 hexes, I'd say, supposed to be unique, different material. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something here, but what? Are they watching me? I don't see anything that looks like a camera. I hold up my fingers and point back to my airlock. I don't know if they can see me or if they have any idea what the hand gestures means. I kick off the hex wall and I back up to the airlock and then I open the inner door. Why not? The pressure is the same on both sides. It's okay to leave the airlock open. If there's a pressure loss in the tunnel, the air leaving the ship will slam the inner airlock door shut and I'll get to stay alive. Exactly. Read with us, Lizface. You should read with us. Jeez Louise, just read with us.
Listening to Project Hail Mary.
You're funny.
In the airlock.
Touche. I go to the lab and pack a bag with a few choice items and then return to the tunnel. First, I tape LED lamps to the various spots along the tunnel. And then I aim the hex wall and now I see what I'm doing at least. I put out my trusty handheld X-ray spectrometer. I scan one of the hexes. It's xenonite. The same composite as the cylinders they sent me earlier. Almost. There are a few differences to the trace elements. Interesting. Maybe xenonite is like steel in a lot of different recipes. I check the next hex over. Another slightly unique combination. Best guess, different types of xenonite are optimal for different situations. They had no idea what my air was like, so they wanted to test various compounds against it. When I leave the tunnel, they inspect the hexes to decide which one fares best. It means I should leave the tunnel. Should I depressurize my side for them? Seems polite. I could easily do it. I just tell the airlock to cycle. It would think, golly, there was a lot of air to me today. Golly, there sure is a lot of air in me today.
You got that?
I got that. I finally got that. But would he just keep pumping until there was a vacuum? But then again, maybe we have a way of sampling the air on their side. If so, I should leave it here, right? I decide to leave it here. They probably have a sampling technique. If I were making this tunnel, that's what I would do. And they seem to be pretty bright. I turn back toward the airlock, but something catches my eye. Movement. I shoot my attention back to the hex wall. Nothing changed. But I swear I could have something move. Probably the hexes are shiny. I probably caught a glimpse of my reflection. Wait. One hex stands out. Why? It's near the tunnel wall. Not very obvious. I float over to take a closer look. Holy cow, I say. The hex is clear. All the others are opaque, but this one is like glass. I pull over the lamps of the wall and I hold it on over the hex. I press it up against the hot wall and get a closer look. Light gets through to the other side. I can see the tunnel of walls beyond. Oh, cat butt! Either their side is a vacuum or the air is clear. Either way, there's nothing blocking my dull view except my cat's butt.
I don't think that was the line.
It's just dulling my view. Suddenly, a rock hits the other side of the hex. It stays there. It's just a few inches away from me. It's roughly triangular, kind of a dark brown, and has a rough, jagged edge. Like you might see the tip of the spear of a caveman. Have I met a space-faring caveman? Stop being stupid, Rylan. Why did they put a rock there? And is it sticky? Are they trying to block my view? If so, they're doing a terrible job. The little triangle is only a couple of inches wide at the thickest point, and the hex is a good 8 inches across, and it gets sillier. Now the rock is bending an articulated joint, and there are two similar rocks doing the same thing, and there's a larger rock attached to that. That is not a rock. It's a claw. It's a claw with 3 fingers. I'm desperate to see more. I press my face against the hex. It burns, but I resist the urge to pull away. There's pain. Yes, I'm probably going to leave a mark. I should go back in the lab and find a camera. But come on now. No one would have the presence of mind at a time like this. I groan as my face aches, but I'm rewarded with a better view. An alien claw, or I call it a hand. That's less scary. The alien hand has 3 triangular fingers, each one with the actuation points. knuckles, I guess. They can close up onto a raindrop shape or widen out to a sort of three-legged starfish. The skin is weird. It looks like a brownish black rock. It's irregular and bumpy, like someone carved a hand out of granite and hasn't gotten around to smoothing it out yet. Natural armor, maybe? Like a turtle shell, but less organized? There's an arm, too. I can barely see it from this angle. No matter how hard I stupidly press my face to the hot wall of pain, there's definitely an arm leading away from the hand. I mean, there'd have to be, right? Not just a magic floating hand. I can't take the pain anymore. I pull my head away. I feel my face. It's pretty raw, but there aren't any blisters. Tap, tap, tap. The alien is tapping the clear hex with his fingers, so I flick it with my finger 3 times. It taps the hex again 3 times, so I tap again as well. Then comes something creepy. The claw hand retreats, and the object returns with a hold, and it holds against the clear hexagon. What is it? It's small. I let myself drift closer to the wall for a better, closer look. The heat warms my face. The object is xenonite, of course. It's about ½ an inch high and finely detailed. It looks like a doll, but it has an oversized head and really thick arms and legs. Oh, it's me! It's me! It's me! We got one! There we go. There we go. Little guy right there. Little guy. Got a little guy. It's me. It's a tiny, teeny Russian Olin MKS2 Eva suit. That's all they've seen of me so far. Another hand shows up. Hey, I have 2 hands. I shouldn't be surprised that they do too. The second hand holds a model of the Hail Mary. It looks to be the same scale as the figurine of me. And the hand pushes a little bit more on a little Hail Mary's airlock. Pretty clear. It's saying, go back to your ship. I give a thumbs up. The alien releases the mini-me and the Hail Mary model float away. Then contorts a hand and something resembles a thumbs up. It gives 2 fingers curled with the ball and the third pointed up. At least it's not the middle one that's pointed up. I return to the Hail Mary and close the airlock door behind me. I pant and wheeze with excitement. I can't believe that just happened. That's an alien. I just saw an alien. Not just an alien ship, an alien being. I mean, it's just a claw or a hand, but yeah, well, I said his hand, but maybe it's her hand or maybe some other pronoun. I don't have a word for it. They might have 17 biological sexes for all I know, or none. No one ever talks about the really hard parts of the first contact of intelligent life form, pronouns. I'm going to go with he for now because it just seems rude to keep thinking being called it. Also, until I hear otherwise, his name is Rocky! And we get a spin for Rocky! Because that's the pause in the chapter. There we go. That's chapter pause! Chapter pause. Take a break, Ernisha. We've been in space. Oh, another star side. Wow. Interesting. Here, you can hang out with our friend Timmy. Oh, you can sit there for now. All right. Right, DW? Hey, it is what it is. We're spinning. Anybody wants to question it, they can come back and watch all the footage. Every spin is right there. All right, we're going into it. Here we go. Okay, now what? Rocky told me to go back to my ship, so I did. I feel kind of stupid. There's a whole bunch of science I should be doing, right? I peek through the airlock porthole. The lamps are still taped to the wall of the tunnels, and I can see there have been some changes. The hex wall is gone. Just plain gone. I see all the way to the blip's hole, and there's a whole robot attached to it, reaching out and doing stuff with its little robot hands. And yeah, its hands look like Rocky's hands. Broadly speaking, 3 fingers, about the same size as Rocky's hands. Probably controlled with a Nintendo Power Glove kind of thing inside the ship. Man, I'm old. The robot takes a particular interest in my lamps. Heck, I take interest too. Those are alien artifacts with alien technology. Sure, they're just lights, but they're alien lights. To my Iridian friends over there, probably the most exciting scientific find of their history. The robot arms pulls them in a little cubby on Blip A's hole and the latch closes. I bet those are going to be the most studied lamps in the history of lamps. I'm glad we have to go for a moment of discovery and all, but they took my light source away. And I can hear the occasional clunk and a pitch black there. It's interesting in and on itself. I am not an alien from 40 years in, but if I were working with a remote-controlled robot, I'd have a camera on it somewhere and a light source to see what it was doing. But they don't need that. They don't need light. Well, hold on. Their visible spectrum might be completely different from ours. Humans only see a tiny fraction of all wavelengths of light out there. We evolved to see the wavelengths that are most plentiful on Earth. Maybe the Iridans evolved to see different wavelengths. The room could be well illuminated with infrared and ultraviolet light, and I wouldn't see a thing. A robot? Why a robot? They had a living being there a few minutes ago. My boy Rocky? Why'd you replace him with a robot? Vacuum? They probably took all the air out of the tunnel. They have a sample of my hull. They know it's made of aluminum, roughly how thick it is. Maybe they aren't sure if my ship can handle outside pressure, or maybe the atmosphere reacts badly with aluminum. So they keep the tunnel a vacuum, which means they have to do work with the robot. I feel like Sherlock Holmes. All I saw was nothing, and I drew a bunch of conclusions. Conclusions are widely speculative with nothing to prove them, but conclusions. I could get into the lamp. The lab has a few more. I could shine it in there to see what Robo Rocky is doing, but I'll know soon enough, and I don't want to be in some part of the ship if something interesting happens. Ooh. Just as I'm thinking that, something interesting happens. Knock, knock, knock. No, that's not creepy at all. Being a spaceship 12 light years from home and having someone knock on the door is totally normal. Whole hounds too much with my that's funny. I know my verbiage is not the best, trust me. When I have to do my corrections, it always puts Project Hail Mary instead of Hail Mary. It's funny. It's okay. Anyway, okay, now I need another lamp. I pinball down the lab and grab another one, then back up to the control room. I cycled the airlock without bothering to put on the EVA suit. I turn the manual vents on both doors and the airlock repressurized the tunnel. It works just like I expect. There's still a good seal there. I open the outer door and float in, lamp in hand. The hex wall is gone. It's been replaced by a solid wall of clear material. On the other side of that wall is Rocky. He's a spider! He's a big-ass spider! I turn to flee, but my rational brain takes over. Easy, easy. They're friendly, I say to myself. I turn back, and I take in the scene. Rocky is smaller than human. He's the size of a Labrador. He has 5-leg radiating off the central caprice-looking thing. The caprice, which is roughly a pentagon of 18 inches across and half thick. I don't see eyes or a face anywhere. Each leg has a joint in the middle. I'll call it an elbow. Each leg, or should I say arm, ends in hands. And he's got 5 hands. Each hand on one of those has triangular fingers. I got a good look at them last time. Looks like all 5 hands are the same. I don't see any fronts or backs to him. Oh, you got Lily. He appears to be pentagonally symmetrical. That's what it says, symmetrical. He wears clothing. The legs are bare, showing a rock-like skin. But there's clothes on the caprice. Sort of like a shirt with 5 armholes. I don't know what the shirt is made of, but it looks thicker than a typical human clothing. It's a dull greenish brown and inconsistently shaded. The top of the shirt has a large open hole, like where the neck goes on a human t-shirt. The hole is smaller than the caprice, so it must have put that shirt on by putting its arms downwards, sliding its arms through the respective holes. Again, it's a human-like shirt. But there's no neck or head to go through the holes in the top. Just a hard-looking rocky pentagon that sticks up a little bit from the crusty skin. On the sides of the tunnel is handles of the lattice work on the walls. He casually hangs a couple of bars with 2 of his hands. I guess when you have 5 hands, 0 G's isn't a big deal. Just allocate a hand or 2 to keeping one in place and the other 3 to do stuff. For me, the tunnel is kind of small, but for him, it's absolutely spacious.
Don't hurt yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, me Rocky. It's Rocky. He says, hello. We have Rocky. Ooh, you might have to get up, Shmoo.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know if you were going to paint. Oh, okay. I mean, technically it's her spot, but you know, I mean.
Yo, it's my spot right now.
Come on, Grace. We can't. There we go. There we go. You thought it was this whole time like Andy Weir is wild. That's funny. Oh, okay, there we go. Nice. Okay, what are you gonna sit on? The stool. Oh, you're standing? Cool. Okay, cool. Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. As long as you got your space that you need, babe. That's what I'm making sure you got. All right, cool. All right, here we go. But it's absolutely spacious. He waves to me with a free arm. He knows one human greeting. By golly, he plans to use it. I wave back. He waves again. I shake my head. No more waving. He pivots his shoulders to rotate his caprice back and head. He shook his head in as much as I could. I wonder how he's going to break out this game of Iridan see, Iridan do. But he takes care of that for me. He taps the clear wall 3 times with the finger, then keeps the index finger. Is he pointing? I follow the line. Wow, there's stuff in the tunnel with me. They left me a present. Can I be forgiven for not noticing? Seeing an alien kind of distracted me from the small collection of objects on the tunnel wall. All right, I say. Let's see what you left me. Says Rocky. My jaw drops. Yes, I'm in 0 G. It still drops. There was no pronunciation or inflection of the sound. Just notes, like a whale song. Except not quite like a whale song. Because there were several at once. Whale chords, I guess. What was he responding to me? It means he can hear too. And notably, the sounds in my range of hearing. Some of the notes were low, some of them were high. Definitely audible. That alone is amazing when I think about it. He's from a different planet and totally different evolutionary line, but we ended up with compatible sound ranges. On top of all that, he decided my nose warranted a response. You have a language, I said? How do you have a language? You don't have a mouth. Rocky explained. Thinking rationally, you can't make a spaceship without a civilization, and you can't have a civilization without being able to communicate, so of course they have a language. It's interesting that communication is done with sound, like humans do. Coincidence? Or maybe not. Maybe that's just the easiest way to evolve that trait. Rocky points to the object to the left. Right, I say. The whole language is a way more interesting to me. I'd rather explore that, but for now, Rocky wants to know what I think of his presence. I float over to the objects. They're attached to the wall of my own tape. With my own tape. The objects are a pair of spheres. Each one has a raised image embossed on it. One has a Hail Mary, and the other has Blip A. I pull the Hail Mary ball off the tape. It's not warm. In fact, the tunnel isn't warm anymore. Interesting. Maybe they noticed I like things cooler and they did something to make it more comfortable for me. There's a rattle on the inside of the ball. I shake it and listen. More rattling. I find a seam. I rotate the top and the bottom of the ball. Each other, and sure enough, they rotate. Left-handed screw, of course. I look to Rocky for approval. He has no face and thus no facial expression. He just floats there, watching me. Well, not watching. No eyes. Actually, wait. How does he know what I'm doing? He clearly knows. He waves and stuff. He must have eyes somewhere. I probably just don't recognize them. I turn my attention back to the sphere. I pull the two halves apart, and inside is a bunch of little more spheres. I sign. This raises more questions than it answers. The little beads float out and drift across my field of view. They're not individual items. They're connected to one another by little strings, like a complicated necklace. I spread it out as best I can. They look like, for a lack of better terms, beaded handcuffs. The two circles of threaded beads connected to each other by a little bridge of thread. Each circle has 8 beads on it. The connecting thread has none. This seems very debatable. Seems very deliberate. Oh, thank you for the gift, love. But I have no idea what it means. Maybe the other ball, the one with the blip A pictured on it, will shed more light. I let the handcuffs float, and I pull blip A ball off the wall. I shake it, and I hear a lot of rattling from inside. I unscrew the two halves, and another set of beads comes out. Unlike the handcuffs, there's only one ring in this construction, and it has 7 beads. Not 8. Oh, you sent me a gift. You sent me a heart gift. Yeah, you sent a heart puff.
Even my weenus knows I love you.
That's funny.
Aww.
That's funny. Unlike the handcuffs, there's construction. I love that one. Okay, also it has 3 connector strings sitting next to the circle and leading a single bead each. Kind of like a necklace with some ornamentation hanging off of it. There's more stuff inside. I shake the model and another necklace floats out. I take a look and it's identical to the one I just inspected. I keep shaking and more necklaces come out. Each one of the same. I collect them all. It's like Pokemon. Gotta collect them all. Gotta catch them all. And the stuff them in my pockets. This reminds me of something. I thumb my forehead. What does this remind me of? Rocky taps his caprice with the claw. I know he's just mimicking my movements, but I feel like he's saying, think, dummy. Why would I tell my students this all the time? Why I suddenly think of my students. I got an image in my classroom. A flash of memory. I'm holding a model of a molecule and explaining. Molecules! I grab the handcuffs and I hold them out. Rocky, these are molecules! They're trying to tell me something about chemistry. But wait, these are some weird molecules. They make no sense. I look at the handcuffs. Nothing forms molecules like this. 8 atoms on one side, 8 on the other, and connected by what? Nothing. The connecting string isn't even coming off the bead. It's just teeing off the string from the other 2. Atoms, I say! The beads are protons! So the circles of the beads are atoms, and the little connectors are the chemical bonds. Okay, if that's the case, I hold up the handcuffs and count everything. Okay, then this is 2 atoms with the 8 protons connected to each other. The element number 8 is oxygen. 2 oxygen. Oh, 2! And it was in my Hail Mary ball. I hold it towards Rocky. You clever fellow. This is my atmosphere. I grab the other set of beads. So your atmosphere is 7 protons connected to 3 individual atoms with 1 proton each. A nitrogen attached to 3 hydrogens. Ammonia! Of course it's ammonia! You breathe ammonia! That explains the passive smell all the time. Presents they left me. Residual traces of air. Ah, yikes. You breathe ammonia? I count all the little ammonia necklaces they gave me. I only got 1 O2 molecule, but he gave me 29 ammonias. I think about it for a moment. Oh, I say, I get it. I see what you're saying. I have no fucking idea. It took my alien counterpart. You have 29 times as much atmosphere as I do. Of course that's what he meant. I'd have been dead. I have 29 times as much atmosphere as I do. Wow. Two things come immediately to my mind. First, Iridians live in an immense pressure, like similar to being 1,000 feet deep in the ocean back on Earth. Secondly, xenonite is some amazing stuff. I don't know how thick that wall is, half an inch, maybe less, but it's holding back a relative pressure of 28 atmospheres. Like my hair is crusty. Don't be, Emily, take a shower if your hair is crusty, my love. Yes, go shower. I was going to say, she just said that. Go shower. All right, she's going to miss brunch tomorrow. That's okay, Em. We get it. We get it. Understand. All while being big, unreinforced flat panel. The absolute worst way to make a pressure vessel. Heck, their whole ship is made of big, flat panels.
Bell's home.
Hey, welcome home, Belle. Glad you got home, Belle. Glad you got home. Oh, thank you, Em. Thank you, thank you. Good night and happy Father's Day to Jake and your family that you all spending time with. Happy Father's Day to you all tomorrow as well. The tensile strength of that stuff must be off the charts. No wonder I couldn't bend or break the things they sent me earlier. We don't have remotely compatible environments. I'd die in seconds if I were on his side of the tunnel. And my guess is he wouldn't do too well on my 1/29th of his normal atmospheric pressure. And with no ammonia at all, okay, not a problem. We have a sound. We can pantomime. That's a good start for communication. I take a moment to let all this sink in. This is amazing stuff. I have an alien buddy here. And we're chatting. I can barely contain myself. The problem is, I haven't contained myself. Fatigue washes over me so hard I can barely concentrate. It's been 2 days since I slept. There's just always been something monumental going on. I can't just stay up forever. I need to sleep. I held up a finger. The hang on 1 second motion. Hopefully, he remembers it from last time. He holds up one of his fingers to match. I rush back to my ship, hurrying down the lab. There's an analog clock on the wall because every lab needs an analog clock. It takes some doing, but I pull it off the wall and put it under my arm. I also grab a dry erase marker from the workstation. I go back through the control tower into the tunnel of the alien. Rocky is still there. He seems to perk up when I return. How could I know? I don't. He just kind of repositioned himself, and it seemed more attentive. I show him the clock. I spin the time dial in the back. I just want him to see how the hands move around. He makes a circular motion with a hand. He gets it. I set the clock to 12. Then I use a dry erase marker to draw a line from the center towards the 12 and a short line from the center of the 2. I'd rather sleep a solid 8 hours, but I don't want to keep Rocky waiting too long. I'll settle for a 2-hour nap. Then I'll come back when the clock matches this, I say, if that would help him understand. He makes a gesture. He reaches forward with 2 of his hands and grabs nothing, and then he pulls nothing towards him. What? He taps the wall and points to the clock, then repeats the gesture. Do you want the clock to be closer to the wall? I push the clock closer. This seems to excite him. He makes a gesture more rapidly. I move it forward. The clock is almost touching the wall now. He does a gesture one more time, but this time is a little slower. At this point, I have no idea what he wants. Neither do I. So I just push the clock up against the wall. It's touching now. He raises his hands and shakes them alien jazz hands. Is this a good thing? Okay. I hope he understands I'll be back in 2 hours. I turn to leave, but immediately I hear, "What?" I say. He says, pointing to the clock. It drifts a little bit away from the wall. He doesn't like that. Okay, I say. I pull a loop of tape off the wall, unlooping it, and I rip it in half. I use the 2 halves of tape to the left and right of the clock sides of the clock to the clear wall. Rocky gives me the jazz has signal again. I think it means yes, or I approve this, like nodding. I turn to leave again, but I spin around one more. Dude, I just want a darn nap. He holds up the finger, using my own sign language against me. Now I have to wait. I guess that's fair. I hold up my finger and acknowledge it. He opens a circular door leading to the ship. It's the right size of an Eridan. I would have a hard time squeezing through that if that ever became the plan. He disappeared inside, leaving the door open. I'd love to know what's beyond the door, but I can't see anything. It's pitch black in there. Interesting. It's completely dark in his ship. That door probably leads to an airlock, but even an airlock would have some lights in it, wouldn't it? Rocky didn't have any problem getting around, but I know he can see. He responds to my gestures that lend strength to my earlier theory about a really Eridan vision. I think they see a different part of the spectrum than humans do. Maybe they see entirely in infrared or entirely in ultraviolet. That airlock might be perfectly lit up as far as Rocky is concerned, and I can't see a thing. Conversely, my lights are completely useless to him. I wonder if he may have wavelengths in common. Maybe red, the color of the lowest wavelengths that human can see, is the highest wavelength I can see, or something. Maybe worth looking into. I should bring a rainbow of light and find out if he can. Oh, he's back. Rocky bounces into the tunnel, a spider walk along the rails of the dividing wall. He's incredibly graceful at it. Either he's very seasoned at being in 0G, or Eridans are really good at climbing around. They have 5 hands with opposable fingers. He's an interstellar traveler, so he's probably a little bit of both. And with one hand, he holds a device up for me to see. I don't know what it is. It's a cylinder. Man, these people like their cylinders. A foot long, maybe 6 inches wide. I can see his grip deforms the casing a little bit. It's made of soft material, like foam or rubber. The cylinder has 5 horizontal aligned square windows. Inside each window is a shape. I think they might be letters, but not just ink on paper. They're on a flat surface, but the symbols themselves are raised an eighth of an inch or so. Huh? I say. The symbol on the right rotates away to be replaced by a new symbol. After a couple of seconds, it happens again. Then again. It's a clock, I say. I showed you a clock, so you showed me a clock. I point to my clock taped to the wall, and then his. He does the jazz hands with 2 of his hands, not using any in the moment. I do jazz hands back. I watch the Eridan clock for a while. Rocky just holds it in place for me to see. The symbols, the numbers, probably cycle through on the rightmost window. They're on a rotator, like an old school digital clock back home. After a while, the rotator steps one to the left and it changes one position. As far as I can tell, the right rotate changes once every 2 seconds. A little more than 2 seconds, I think. It cycles through 6 unique symbols before it repeats. And V in that order. Whenever it reaches the next rotation to the left, advances 1 step. Eventually, after a minute of this, the second symbol from the right rotor works its way through the symbols, and then it reaches the rotator from the third that advances right. They all read the information from the left to the right, same as English. Neat. Hey, Dr. Lego, checking in. We're still being good here. We met Rocky. Ha! They're giving each other the clocks. Though not incredibly unlike, I mean, there are now really only 4 options, left to right, right to left, top to bottom, or bottom to top, so there was a 1 in 4 chance we'd be the same. So his clock is intuitive for me to read, and it works like an odometer. It's clearly there's 0. From that, I know I is 1, is 2, is 3, is 4, and is 5. What about 6 through 9? They don't exist. After we go back to Eridans use space of 6. Oh, okay, Allie Grace. Sounds good. I'll be excited to read that one. That's exciting. That's an exciting conversation. You missed that conversation earlier. That sounds exciting. Of all the things I teach my students, numerical bases are the hardest to make them truly understand. There's nothing special, the number 10. We have 10 unique digits because we have 10 fingers. Simple as that. Rockies have 3 fingers per hand, and I guess they only like to use 2 hands when counting. They probably keep their other 3 feet and hands on the ground to stay steady. So they have 6 fingers to work with. I like you, Rocky. You're a Genius. And he is. With a simple act, Rocky showed me how Iridian numbers work base to 6, how Iridian numbers are written, and how Iridians read information left to right. How long an Iridian second is. I hold up a finger and rush back to the ship to get my stopwatch. I come back and time Rocky's clock. I start the timer just as the third rotor changes its state. The rotor right continues clicking over every 2 seconds or so, and every 6 steps the next rotor advances 1. This is going to take a while, but as accurate a count as possible. It takes around a minute and a half for the third rotor to move just 1 step. I can expect to be at this for 10 minutes or so, but I plan to watch the whole time. Rocky gets bored, at least I think that's what happened. He starts fidgeting, then lets the clock float in place near the divider wall, then wanders around his side of the tunnel. I'm not sure if he's doing anything in particular. He opens the door leading to his side of the ship and begins to climb through, and then stops. He seems to think it over, then changes his mind, closes the door. He doesn't want to leave while I'm still here. After all, I might do or say something interesting. He says, I know. Hold up a finger. He holds up a finger and then returns slowly, bouncing from wall to wall. 0G pacing. What was that? Of what? Was it on your? Oh, okay. Finally, the third rotor completes a full lap and I stop my timer. The total time? 511 seconds. I don't have a calculator and I'm too excited to go back to the ship to get one. I pull out a pen and do long divisions on the palm of my hand. 1 Iridian second is 2.366 Earth seconds. I circle the answer in my palm and I stare at him. I add a few exclamation points nearby because I feel like they're warranted. I know it doesn't seem like much, but this is a huge deal. Rocky and I are astronauts. If we're going to talk science. And just like that, Rocky and I establish a fundamental unit of time. Up next, length and mass. No, actually, next up, a nap. I am so tired. I pull my clock off the... You hit the thing. Probably the clamp.
Hit the what?
The clamp behind you.
The clamp.
Situational awareness of a rock. I pull my clock off the wall with 2 of my dry erase markers just to be as clear as possible, then tape it back in place. I wave, he waves, then I go back for a nap. This is ridiculous. How can I expect to sleep? How could anyone under these circumstances? I'm still wrapping my head around what's happening. There's an alien out there, and it's killing me that I can't find out he knows about astrophage. But you can't talk about complex scientific concepts with someone via pantomime. We need a shared language, however rudimentary. I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, work on science communication, the verbs and nouns and physics. It's the one set of concepts we're guaranteed to share. Physics laws that are the same everywhere. And once we have enough words to actually talk about science, we'll start talking about astrophage. And in Iridian seconds, we'll be talking to him again. How the heck can a guy sleep at a time like this? There's just no way I can. Spin the wheel. No, you got to spin the wheel, my guy. You got to spin the wheel. Thank you. We don't do no ninny spinnings here.
Sorry.
We got
Star sign.
Star side again. Wow. Star side is starting to run away with it. Leave me? Oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.
She's leaving us. All right, folks.
I'm to draw. When will I see you again?
I'm telling you. They said bye, little space. That Etsy witch was worth every penny. DW's like, I really want him to read Starside. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's epic. That is epic. Did you see earlier? Freaking DW donated a corgi, so I was like, you know what? I'll give you a spin, right? And it actually landed on the chair on the redheads too.
No way.
Yeah. Her spin actually landed on the chili for the redheads. It was pretty funny.
That's cool.
It was pretty funny. All right, are we?
Corgi butts.
Corgi butts driving us. Ooh, you watercoloring that. Okay. All right. I think we're going to do another chapter. Let's get into it because it's only 9 o'clock. I know there's not many of us here tonight, but hey, that's
I can do this, guys. I'm sorry.
You need help?
No.
Why don't you put the paintbrush down?
I can do it.
Just saying, you use your whole body. And
Do it.
why are we doing this the hard way? See what I got to deal with, folks? See what I got to deal with here, folks? See what I'm dealing with here, folks?
My love.
Did you get the arms yet?
Oh, the armrest? No.
Oh.
No, so they were supposed to email me within like 24 to 48 hours. Well, they did not. And I actually checked my email thrice. And so today I called Home Depot and I spoke with George. And George helped me out. So I told him the situation and he was like, weird that they would recommend you hearing back from the vendor. That's usually not the preferred method and quite slow. So he's like, I would recommend we just, return it and we'll order you a new one and I'll give you a discount. And I said, sure, great, sounds good. So then he returns it and then he's like, oh, but by the way, don't worry about sending the old one back. The vendor's not going to want it. So either keep it, donate it, trash it. We don't care. If it's too inconvenient, we can arrange for it to be picked up, but, we don't need it. So I was like, okay. So then I got a discount. So George hooked us up. Yay, George. Thank you, George.
Go, George. All right. We like a George.
George was so nice.
All right, let's get into chapter 11. Let's go. Chapter 11. Haha. I love it. My timer beeps at me. I'd set it for a 2-hour countdown. It just reached 0. I blink a couple of times. I'm floating in the fetal position in the control room. I don't even make it to the dormitory. I'm not rested at all. Every pore of my being yells at me to go back to sleep. But I told Rocky I'd be back in 2 hours. And I wouldn't want him to think humans are untrustworthy. I mean, we're pretty untrustworthy. But I don't want him to know that. I trudge. You can trudge in 0G. I say yes. Through the airlock, Rocky is there waiting for me in the tunnel. He's been busy in my absence. There's all sorts of stuff in there now. A Meridian clock is still ticking away and now mounted on one of the lattice poles. But more interesting to me is a box that's been added to the dividing wall. It's a 1-foot cube and it juts out in my half of the tunnel. It's made of the same transparent xenonite of the rest of the wall is made of. On Rocky's side, the box has a flat panel door with an opaque xenonite border. There's also a square hole with a perfectly fitted square pipe leading away. Those are some controls on the pipe near the box? Buttons, maybe? A wire coming from the control box snakes along the pipe, disappearing into a hole where the pipe does. Meanwhile, on my side of the cube is a crank, roughly the same shape as my own airlock's door crank. And that's attached to a square panel like the one Rocky's side. And it's an airlock, I said. You made an airlock in our airlock tunnel. Brilliant. Simply brilliant. Rocky and I can both access it. He can control the air in that little chamber by means of a mystery pipe, which presumably leads back to some pipes or something in Blip A. And those buttons or whatever they controls, just like that, we have a way to transfer stuff back and forth. I do jazz hands. He does them back. Again, with that square flat panel. Who makes square airlocks? Especially one designed to handle Iridian's atmospheric pressure. Even the pipes that run the mini airlock is square. I know they can make round xenonite, the cylinders he sends me when he first were round. The tunnel is round. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Xenonite is so strong you don't have to carefully shape its pressure vessel. Flat panels are probably easier to make. This is awesome. I hold up a finger. He returns the gesture. I fly down to the lab and grab the measuring tape. He showed me a unit of time, so I'll show him a unit of length. The tape measure is metric. Thank God. This is going to be confusing enough using base 6 Iridian seconds. The last thing I want to throw his errors in a Pura unit, even if they are natural to me. Back in the tunnel, I hold up the tape measure. I pull out a bit and then release it to let it retract. I repeat the process a few times. He does jazz hands. I point to the square lock. Well, what else should I call it? And he does jazz hands again. I hope that means there isn't 29 atmospheres of ammonia in there at the moment. I guess we'll see. I turn the crank and open my door. It swings outwards towards me easily. Nothing explodes. In fact, I don't even smell ammonia. And that wasn't a vacuum in there either. It wouldn't have been able to pull the door if there would have been at all if it had been. Rocky set up it to be exactly my atmosphere. Considerate of him. I put the tape measure in the approximate center of the box, and I let it float there. I close the door and I turn the crank. Rocky presses a button on the controls, and I hear a muffed thump, followed by a steady psss. A foggy gas rushes in from a pipe. Ammonia, presumably. The tape measure bounces inside around like a leaf in the wind. Soon, a hiss dulls to a trickle, and then I realize my mistake. The tape measure is one of those solid construction site kinds of things that are made of metal, tool-grade rubber grip pads. Thing is, Iridans like it hot. How hot? I can't say for sure. But I know it's hotter than the melting point of that rubber on the tape measure. The blob of liquid rubber undilates as the tape measure sticking to the tool surface tension. Rocky opens the door, carefully grabs my faulty present of the metal. At least that's still solid. I think it's made of aluminum. It's nice to know Aridin airs and hot enough to melt that too. As Rocky pulls the tape measure towards him, the rubber blob separates from it and floats off to his side of the tube. He pokes the rubber blob and it sticks to his claws. He shakes it off without much trouble. Obviously, the temperature doesn't bother him. I guess it's no difference from humans shaking water off his hands. In my atmosphere, rubber that hot would burn. There'd be all these antsy, noxious gases coming off it too. But there's no oxygen on Rocky's side of the wall, so the rubber just kind of stays a liquid. It floats off the tunnel and wall and sticks there. I shrug at him. Maybe he knows that means I'm sorry. He sort of shrugs back, but he does with all 5 of his shoulders. It's weird. I don't know if I caught his meaning. He pulls the tape out a bit and then lets it snack back. He's clearly surprised, though he must have known it was coming. He released it entirely and spin in front of him. He grabs it and does it again, then again, then again. Yeah, it's fun, I say. But look at the markings. Those are centimeters. Centimeters! He's pretending like he's talking to Wise. The next time he pulls the tape out, I point to the tape. Look! He keeps pulling it out and back again. I don't see indication that he cares about what's written there. Ugh, I hold up a finger. I go back to the lab and get another tape measure. It's well stocked in that lab. No space mission would be complete without redundancy. I come back to the tunnel. Rocky is still playing with the tape measure. Now he's really having a ball. He pulls the tape out as far as he can, which is about a meter, then releases it, both the tape and the tape measure at the same time. The resulting recoil and snapback makes the tape measure spin wildly in front of him. He says. I'm pretty sure that was a squeal of glee. Look, 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 look! I say, Rocky, Rocky, yo! He finally stops playing with the unintentional toy. I pull some tape out of my tape measure. Look, pointing at the markings. Look, here. See these? He pulls out at approximately the same distance. I can see the markings on his are still there. They didn't get baked off in the blistering iridian heat or anything. What is the problem? I point at the 1 centimeter line. Look, 1 centimeter. This line here. I tap the line repeatedly. He holds the tape out with 2 hands and then taps it with the third. He matches my tempo, but he's nowhere near the 1 centimeter mark. Here. Tap the mark harder. Are you blind? I pause. Wait. Are you blind? Rocky taps the tape some more. I've always assumed he had eyes somewhere, but I didn't recognize them. But what if he doesn't have eyes at all? The airlock of Blip A was dark, and Rocky didn't have any problem with it. So I figured he saw frequencies of light I can't see. But a tape measure has white and black markings on it. Any vision in any spectrum should be able to discern black and white. Black is the absence of light, and white is all frequencies equally reflective. Wait, this doesn't make sense. He knows what I'm doing. He mimics my gestures. If he doesn't have vision, how can he read my clock? How can he read his own clock? His clock has thick numbers, like 1/8 of an inch. And thinking back, he actually did have some trouble with my clock. He needed me to tape it to the wall divider. When it floated away an inch, he got upset. Just being close to the divider wasn't enough. The clock had to be touching it. Sound. Do you see with sound? It would make sense. Humans use electromagnetic waves to understand our three-dimensional environment. So why couldn't a different species use sound waves? Same principle as if I have on Earth. Bats and dolphins use echolocation to see. With that sound, maybe iridians have the ability, but on steroids. Unlike bats and dolphins, iridians have a passive sonar. They use ambient sound and waves to resonate their environment instead of making specific noise to track its prey. Just a theory. But it fits the data. That's why his clock numbers are thick, because his sonar can perceive things that are too thin. My clock was a challenge to him. He can't see the ink. But the hands are solid objects, so he knew about them. But the whole thing encased in plastic. I slapped my forehead. That's why you needed to press the wall. You needed the sound waves bouncing around it to get to you more easily. And the tape measure I just handed you is useless. You can't see the ink at all. He plays with the tape measure some more. I hold up a finger. He's more focused on the tape measure toy, but absently returns the gesture with one spare hand. I fly back to the ship through the control room and into the lab. I grab a screwdriver and head further down the dormitory. I detach the store panel from the floor. A sample aluminum sheet stock maybe 1/16 of an inch thick. The edges rounded so we don't cut ourselves. Strong, durable, and light. Perfect for space travel. Welcome back, Dr. Lego. Oh no, she's back. She's gone. She's back. She's gone. I fly back to the tunnel. Rocky has wrapped one end of the tape around one of his tunnel grabbing handles and tied it. In somewhat crude knot, he hangs on the dispenser with one hand and uses the other four to climb backwards to the bars. Hey, I say, hold up. Hold up, wait. Hey, I say. I hold up my hand. Hey. He stops playing with the tape. Stops playing with the tape measure for a moment. I hold up 2 fingers. Rocky holds up 2 fingers. Yeah, okay. We're in mimic mode again. I hold up 1 finger, then switch to 2, then back to 1, then finally 3. Rocky repeats the sequence just as I hoped he would. Now I put the aluminum panel between my hand and Rocky. Behind the panel, I hold up 2 fingers, then 1, then 3, then 5. Rocky holds up 2 fingers, then 1, then all 3. He brings in a second hand to hold up 2 more fingers for a total of 5. I say, wow, 16th inch aluminum will stop pretty much all light. So absurdly high frequencies can get through these. Those frequencies would also pass right through me. So he wouldn't see my hands, but sound travels through metal just fine. That's proof he's not using light to perceive what's going on. It has to be sound. To Rocky, the metal plate is like a glass window. Maybe it muddles the image a little, but not much. Heck, he probably knows what the hell Mary's control room looks like. Why not? The hole is just more aluminum. That means he's seen you go potty then. He'd probably see him go potty through like the whole... He's like, what is that guy doing over there sitting all like that? What's coming out of his body? Ew. Ew, Rocky. No, wait. That's a dumb question. Wait. That's the hole is just more aluminum. Did he see me out in space? There's no air in space, so no sound. Wait, no. That's a dumb question. Not a caveman wandering around in space. He's an advanced interstellar traveler. He has technology. He has probably has cameras and radar and stuff that translates data into something he can understand. No different from my petroscope. I can see IR light. but it can, and then it shows it to me on a monitor with light frequencies I can see. The Blip A control room probably has awesome looking braille-like readouts. Well, I'm sure that's way more advanced than that. Wow. I stare at him. Humans spend thousands of years looking up at the stars, wondering what was out there. You guys never saw stars at all, but you still work space travel. What amazing people you Irilians must be. Scientific geniuses. The knot in the tape comes loosely recoiled wildly and smacks Rocky's hand. He shakes the affected hand in pain for a moment, then continues messing with the tape measure. Yeah, you're definitely a scientist. Up wheel spin. All right, Starside. You gotta let other people play too, Starside. I'm just saying. Here, what doesn't have a... Everything got a vote yet? Ooh, here. Only one. The last one. Shield of Sparrows doesn't have a vote yet. So, we'll start from there, see what happens. There we go. That's a good spin. That's a good solid spin right there. That's a good solid spin. Good solid spin. She's doing art. Stop. House of Beating Wings again. House of Beating Wings again. Wow. This one is just popping books tonight. All right. I don't even know what that one's about. I don't even know. She's like, it almost did, DW. It almost did. What is that? That's a honey pot. All rise, said the bailiff. The United States District Court for the Western District of Washington is now in session. The Honorable Judge Meredith Spencer presiding. The entire courtroom stood as the judge took her seat. Be seated, the bailiff said. He handed the justice a folder. Your Honor, today's case is Intellectual Property Alliance versus Project Hail Mary. The judge nodded. Plaintiff, are you ready for trial? The plaintiff's table was a crowded, well-dressed men and women. The eldest of them, a man in his 60s, stood and answered. We are, Your Honor. Defense, are you ready for trial? Strat stood alone at the defense table, typing away on her tablet. Justice cleared her throat. Defense. Strat finished typing and stood. I'm ready. Stroud is a badass. Like, I'm sorry. Stroud's a badass. Justice Spencer gestured to Stroud's table. Counselor, where's the rest of your team? Just me, she said. And I'm not a counselor. I'm the defendant. Miss Stroud, Spencer took off her glasses and glared. The defendant in this case is a rather famous intergovernmental consortium of scientists led by me, said Strat. I move to dismiss. You can't make a motion yet, Miss Strat, said Spencer. Just tell me if you're ready to proceed. I am ready. All right, plaintiff, you may begin your opening statement. The man stood. May it please the court and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Theodore Cunton, counsel for the Intellectual Property Alliance in this action. This guy already sounds like he's fun at parties, right? During the trial, we show that Project Hail Mary has overstepped its authority in the matters of digital data acquisitions and licensing. They have in their possession a gigantic solid-state drive array upon which they have copied literally every single piece of software that has ever been copyrighted, as well as every single book of literary work that has ever been available in digital format. All of this was done without payment and licensing to the proper copyright holders or intellectual property owners. Furthermore, many other technology designs violate the patents held by... Your Honor, Strat interrupted. Can I make motions now? Technically, the judge says, but it's irregular. I move to dismiss. Your Honor, Canton protested. On what grounds, Miss Strat, said the justice. Because we don't have time for this bullshit, she said. We are building a ship to literally save our species. We have very little time to get it done. It will be 3 astronauts, just 3, to do experiments we can't even conceive of now. We need them to be prepared for anything possible line of study they deem necessary. So we are giving them everything, the collective knowledge of humankind, along with all software. Some of it is so stupid, they probably won't need Minesweeper for Windows 3.1, and they probably don't need an unbridged Sanskrit to English dictionary, but they're going to have them. Canton shook his head. Your Honor, my clients don't dispute the noble nature of Project Hail Mary. The complaint is the illegal use of copyrighted materials and patented mechanisms. Strat shook her head. It would take a ridiculous amount of time and energy to work out licensing agreement with every company, so we're not doing it. I assure you, Miss Strat, you will comply with the law, the justice, said the justice. Only when I want to. Strat held up a sheet of paper. According to the international treaty, I am personally immune from prosecution for any crime anywhere on earth. The United States Senate ratified that treaty 2 months ago. She held up a second piece of paper. And to streamline the situation like this, I also have a preemptive pardon from the President of the United States for any crime, all crimes I am accused within the United States jurisdictions. The bailiff took the papers and handed them to the justice. This is exactly what you said it is. I am only here as a courtesy, said Strat. I don't have to come at all. But since the software industry, patent trolls, and everyone else related to intellectual property banded together in one lawsuit, I figured it would be the fastest to nip this in the bud once and for all. That's epic as fuck, yo. She grabbed her satchel and put it on the table. I'll be on my way. Hold on, Miss Strat, said Judge Spencer. This is still a court of law, and you will remain for the duration of these proceedings. No, I won't, Strat said. The bailiff walked forward. Ma'am, I'll have you restrained if you don't comply. You and what army? Strat asked. 5 armed men in military fatigues entered the courtroom and took up stations around here. Because I have the U.S. Army, and that's a damn fine army. I told you, Strat's a badass motherfucker, yo. Strats. All right, here we go. That's a good spin. That's a good spin. That's a super good spin. Oh, I love fucking Strat. Strat's amazing. She was great in the movie too, y'all. I was like, who is this? She's the shit. Get fucking bent. Get fucking bent. I don't know what to do anymore. Starside. We're at 8. What? Yeah. She said destroyed everyone cards. I'm back, y'all. Get him, Dr. Legos. She changed the screen. Isn't that awesome? All right, moving on. I browsed through my available software while munching on a peanut butter tortilla. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about a peanut butter tortilla, but I'm kind of intrigued. I know that doesn't sound tasty, but it is. Wait, you mean a tortilla with peanut butter on it? I thought he was talking about a tortilla made of peanut butter. Okay, Grace. Okay. I learned how to grip the lab chair with my legs so I don't float off as I use the laptop. My glasses got a smudge on them. Sorry, folks. I learned how to grip the lab. That was funny. That was funny. Oh, what happened? Oh, no. Okay, it is a tortilla. Like a torch. Peanut butter quesadilla. Yeah. You want to try that? You got tortillas? Peanut butter tortilla. Ah. I like it. I like it. I like it. Get it. You're on that good part of that CC2. I love it. All right, here we go. Where was I? Doesn't sound bad, but it is. Okay. I learned how to grip the lab chair with my legs so I don't float off as I use a laptop. Turns out I have a bunch of laptops, at least 6, that I found in storage areas so far. And they're all connected to the ship's Wi-Fi network. Handy. If memory serve, I should have plenty. Where are you? Wi-Fi. What do you got, like internal Wi-Fi? Because you ain't connecting to AOL and shit. What are you trying to do? Talking about Wi-Fi? Voices in our heads. Yes, yes, yeah. I hear you. If memory serves, I should have pretty much all the software looking around somewhere on this ship. The trick is finding the one I need. It wouldn't even know what it's called. Fortunately, for one of the books in the digital library is a list of software applications. So that helps. Ultimately, I find something that will work. Timepanium Labs Waveform Analyzer. That's some fucking... Elmo used big words. There are all sorts of waveform analyst software packages in my library. This one just has the highest reviews according to the 2017 Computer Magazine that reviewed a waveform analyzer. Analyzers. The word is analyzers. Analyzers. It's what the fuck? Analyzers. I installed the software on one of the laptops. It's pretty simple to use and has a plethora of features. But the one I'm most interested in is the Fourier transform. It's the most basic tool in the sound wave analysis and arguably the most important. There's a lot of complicated math and how it make it happen, but in the end result is this. If you run a sound wave through a Fourier transform, it will give you a list of individual notes played at the same time. So if I can play a C major chord, this app will listen to it. The app would tell me it's a C and an E and a G and incredibly math on how to make that happen. But the end result is this. If you run a sound through a... Wait, I just fucking read that page. I was like, I just read that. No more pantomime. It's time to learn Iridanese. I just gave my mother a good feel. Mr. Raz, let's go! Oh, doctor, it's fine. It's fine. We've all been there. Listen, just have her sit on the couch. Nice little beverage. Put on her favorite movie. Everything will be all right. I'm going to wait for the show. See you in 12 hours. Exactly. Exactly. I love it.
Night-night.
Get her the blankies, exactly. Pillow blankies should be good. Hey, maybe go ahead and order some Taco Bell up just in case. You need to pop it in the microwave later. We'll be all right. No, I don't feel bad about it. See, exactly. Even Grace says it's okay. I'm doing a lot of things the first time in human history out here, and there's a lot of stuff that needs naming. Just be glad I don't name stuff after myself. I launched Microsoft Excel. Wait, was that the right spot? Yep. Yeah, okay, that was. I launched Microsoft Excel on a laptop. I taped the two laptops together back to back. Yes, I could just run both applications on one laptop, but I don't want to switch back and forth. I fly up through the ship and back to the tunnel. Rocky isn't there. She said run to Quick Trip and get some snacks. The dragons in the books are now on the ceiling. And then make it stop at Independence. Mr. Rass is about to... It's funny. It's funny. Rocky can't just spend all day waiting around for me, but why don't they have someone in the tunnel at all times? If my crewmates were still around, we would definitely be rotating the watch or something. Heck, you looking Ilyanka, we butchered her name, would probably be camped out here nonstop and only leave when she had to sleep. What if they are having different people in the tunnel? How do I know Rocky is just one person? I don't know how to tell Iridians apart. Maybe I've been talking to 6 different people. That's an unsettling thought. No, that is not. No, I'm pretty sure Rocky is just Rocky. The ridges on the caprice and the rocky protrusion on his hands are unique. I remember there are regular crabby bits sticking out on the fingers. Yeah, it's the same guy. If you look at a rock for several hours and someone replaces it with a very similar but slightly different rock, you would know. Okay, so where's the rest of the crew? I'm alone because my crewmates didn't make it, but Eridans have better technology, space-wise. Big ship, night indestructible hull material. There has to be a crew in there. I bet Rocky's the captain. He puts himself at risk by talking to the scary aliens. Everyone else stays back in the ship because that's what Captain Kirk would do. So why not Captain Rocky? Captain Calculus would do that too, I'm telling you. Anyway, I have cool stuff I want to, and I'm impatient. Hey, yo, Rocky! Hey, come here! Hey, yo, Adrian! Hey! I listen for any sound of the movement. Come on, man! Your entire range sensory input is sound. I bet you can hear a pin drop a mile away. You know I'm calling you. Move your... whatever serves as your butt. I want to talk to you. Wait. I wait. And wait. But no Rocky. My guess is I'm pretty high priority to him. So whatever he's doing must be really important. After all, he's got a ship to deal with. He probably needs to eat and sleep. Your truck. What? That is hilarious. We do. We have the super. Sir, our happy show is on. Rocky is here. Skedaddle. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. You can move him. I don't know if you're in sleep. Come on, think of it. Sleep might not be such a bad idea. Out of the past 48 hours, I've had a 2-hour nap and nothing else. Rocky's clock is still there, wedged between a grab bar and a divider wall. It's ticking away as normal. It's interesting. His clock only has 5 digits. By my math, that'll roll over back to every 5 hours or so. Maybe the length of an Aryan day. Speculate later. Sleep is priority. I set up a spreadsheet on my Excel laptop to convert from Rocky time to mine and vice versa. I want to sleep for 8 hours. I enter the current time on Rocky's clock, which is... and I have a spreadsheet. Tell me what the clock will say. 8 hours from now, the answer is... I hurry back to the lab and pick up a bunch of popsicle sticks and tapes. Rocky can see ink, so I have to improvise. I tape the sticks to the divider and let Rocky know when I will return. Unfortunately, the symbols are made mostly of straight lines, so my little craft project should be good enough for him to read. Interesting, my return time is 6 digits, one more digit than Rocky's clock shows, but I am sure he'll figure it out. If Rocky said I'll be back at 37 o'clock, I'd understand what he meant. Before I hit the hay, I harvested a mini camera from the lab's vacuum chamber. It's just a small wireless camera that talks to a portable LCD screen clipped to the chamber. I taped the camera up in the tunnel, pointed it at the divider wall. I bring a readout screen out to my bunk. There. Now I have a baby monitor set up in the tunnel. There's no audio. The camera is watching experiments, not chatting with people. But it's better than nothing. I tuck the bunk sheets and blink the lights all on my oval mattress pad. I shimmy in between the tight bedding. This way I won't just float around while I sleep. My grand plans for communicating with Rocky will have to wait. I'm a little frustrated, but not for long. I conk out almost immediately. Bum, ba, ba, bum. We'll spend time. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. The question is, did Mr. Raz go and get the snicky snacks? Ah! Uh-oh. Stop. Dungeon Carl Crawl! Dungeon Crawl Carl. I can't say that book title is going to kill me. Dungeon Crawl. Carl, those kill people. Carl, you can't do that. Allie Grace is like, I need a snack too. I'm at a chicken death snack. We're probably going to do one more chapter tonight. That'll be 4. If Mr. Raz can do it, you can. There you go. That's not. I don't know. We may one, maybe two more. We'll see what happens. QT is a way of life here. We just started getting QTs down here. We just started getting some QTs. We have more of the Buckies though, but we really don't even go to the Buckies that much. They're cool to go to, but it's a gas station. What's up? Oh, you got her? You're what? Oh, you're coming to hang out again? For a little bit. Oh, okay. Cool. It's a gas station. It stands for Quick Trip. QT, Quick Trip. That's all. So the ones I've been to have, they're amazing. So yeah, see, like Bucky's, like if I would describe it, Quick Trip, honestly, I guess you could say Quick Trip is like a Bucky's without the extra flair. It doesn't have all the extraness. Every Quick Trip I've ever been into has been very clean, and it's very nice. It's very nice. And the first place I ever saw them, believe it or not, it was like Oklahoma. You know what I mean? What's a Bucky's? Bucky's. Okay, if you really want to know what a Bucky's is, the best thing I can tell you, Vega, is just go on the Tiki-Talkie and just literally go up. Yeah,
look up Freddy.
You can look up Freddy77. He talked about Bucky's. He's a German guy that's doing the World Cup. But Bucky's is our gas. It's a gas station that started out in Texas, and a beaver's their mascot. And when I say they lean into it like Ronald McDonald gets lean, they lean into the Bucky the Beaver, and but
they're huge. They're more the size of like Walmart.
Yeah. So when they build the Bucky's, instead of like 5 or 10 pumps, there's like 80 or 90 gas pumps. It's like buses pull in there to stop, and you know what I mean? It's that big. They make 50 to 60 briskets a day. It's crazy. But yeah, it's an experience. Like if you ever come to the States and you go, especially in the South, and you hit a Bucky's, you just got to go through it once. A Wawa, yeah. See Wawas, yeah, I've heard that. Fancy gas stations, yeah. They are super fancy. Think of an American gas station Americanized times 5. That's all it really is. Are you putting salt on this thing?
Yeah, it's a technique. You put salt on it. It makes different little.
Oh, like so. Oh, I got you. Yeah, okay, I got you. Cool.
It makes
a wild for a Piggly Wiggly. Okay, see, we have what I'll listen. HEB. That's all I'm gonna say. HEB, the fourth largest grocery chain in America, and it's only in Texas, and not even in all of Texas. It's only in 3/4 of Texas. That's all I'm gonna say. Ooh, HEB is the place to be. Nobody does more than my HEB. I'm telling you, HEB. You talk bad about HEB down here in Texas, and you will have people like, if they're what did you say? You will get side eye like a motherfucker. Oh my Lord! You don't like what? Loves is okay, but Loves yeah, Loves needs a little bit of work. Loves needs some work. All right. Let's get another chapter in here. Chapter 12. Tap, tap, tap. The sound barely Tap, tap, tap. The sound barely penetrates my consciousness. It's far away. Tap, tap, tap. I wake from a dreamless sleep. Huh? Tap, tap, tap. Breakfast, I mumble. A mechanical arm reaches into the compartment and pull out a packaged meal. It's like Christmas every morning around here. I pull the top of the steam wafts off out in all directions. It's a breakfast burrito inside. Nice, I say. Coffee? Preparing. I take a bite of the breakfast burrito. It's good. All the food is good. I guess they figured if we were going to die, they might as well give us good stuff to eat. It's the least you could do, right? Coffee, says the computer. Mechanical arm hands me a pouch with a pinch straw in it like a Capri Sun for adults. 0G accommodations. I let the burrito float nearby and take a sip of coffee. It's delicious, of course. It has just the right amount of cream and sugar. That's a very personal preference that varies widely from person to person. Tap, tap, tap. Why is that anyways? I check the LCD screen, tap near my bunk. Rocky is in a tunnel, tapping in a divider wall. Computer, how long was I asleep? I just love how we went on a whole explanation of gas. Listen, our gas stations, it's a culture thing in America, our gas stations, because we drive so much. And I truly believe that. And it's like, we drive so much, our gas stations are a culture. Like, think about it. We're used to drive, we have no problem driving round trip to and from work, like hour and 15. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. I think that's what it is. Traveling. I don't know. Patient was unconscious for 10 hours and 17 minutes. Damn! 10 hours and 17 minutes. Oh, crud. I will go out of my bed and bounce up through the ship towards the control room. I carry my burrito and coffee with me because I am starving. I bounce into the tunnel. Sorry. Rocky taps the divider louder than before now that I'm here. He points to the popsicle stick numbers I taped to the divider and then his clock. His ball's on one hand with a fist. I'm sorry. I clench my hands together, praying. I don't know what else to do. There's no interplanetary symbol for supplication. I don't know if he understands, but he unclenches his fists. Maybe it was a mild admonishment. I mean, he could have made 5 fists, but he only made 1. Anyway, I keep him waiting for over 2 hours. Oh, I lost my shit. I hate being waited for 15 minutes. But anyway, digressing. Understandably upset. Hopefully the next trick will make up for it. I hold up a finger. He returns a gesture. I grab my... What you laughing at?
Someone on the server, and they did a little project called Mary Art, but the way they colored it, they used the wrong color profile, so they can't get the red bright. So they said my Petrova line looks like a Putrova line.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. I hold up a finger. He returns a gesture. I grab my duct tape and laptops and launch a waveform analysis software and one Excel on the other. I press them against the tunnel wall and secure them with tape. I pull the popsicle stick numbers off the divided wall. They're as good as a place to start. As I hold up the eye and I point to it. 1. I say 1. I point to my mouth, then back to the Iridian number. 1. Then I point to Rocky. He points to the 1 and says, I pause the waveform analyzer. We scroll back a few seconds. There we go. Rocky's word for 1 is just 2 notes played at the same time. They're a bunch of harmonic resonances!
No, it's back!
Fuck, it's back!
501!
It's back, DW! It's back! Bell! What is happening? Ah! It's back!
It follows you!
But there are too many frequency peaks. Just 2 notes. We can no longer escape it. I type 1 into the spreadsheet, and on the other computer, note relevant 1 frequencies. Okay. I return to the divider and I hold up the V symbol. 2, I say. He says, another 1-syllable word. The oldest words in the language are usually the shortest. In time, it's a chord made of 4 distant notes. I enter 2 and record the frequencies for that word. He starts to get excited. I think he knows what I'm up to, and it's got him happy. Oh, he's happy, all right. Just when we think we're out, it drags us back in. For real, right? I hold up the... And before I can even speak, he points to the... and says... Excellent. Our first 2-syllable word. I have to scroll back and forth a bit for the waveform data to get the chords right, but the first syllable just has 2 notes and the second has 5. Rocky can make at least 5 different notes at the same time. He must have multiple sets of vocal cords or something. Well, he has 5 arms and 5 hands, so why not 5 sets of vocal cords? I don't see a mouth anywhere. The notes are just coming from somewhere inside him. When I hear him speak, I thought it sounded like a whale song. Maybe it was more accurate than I thought. Whales sound like they do because they move the air back and forth across their vocal cords without expelling it. Rocky may be doing the same thing. What? I look at him. He points to the symbol. Still in my hand, and then to me, then back to the... and back to me. He's almost frantic about it. Oh, sorry, I say. I hold the digit up properly and say 3. He does jazz hands. I throw some jazz hands back. Well, while we're on the subject, I stand for a moment so he knows he's in a break of a conversation. Then I do jazz hands and says, yes. We repeated the gesture. Yes. He does it back to me. I note and record the frequencies on my laptop. Okay, we have yes in our vocabulary now. I say, I look over. Once he knows he has my attention, he does jazz hands again and says, the same chords as before. Yes, I say, we've covered this. He holds up a finger for a moment. Then he balls 2 fists and taps together. What? I say, I'm a teacher. What would I teach someone who just learned the word yes? That's no. At least I hope so. I ball my fists and tap them together. No? He says. I check the laptop. He just said yes. Wait, does that mean it's not no? Is that another yes? Now I'm confused. No, I asked. No, he says in Aradan. So yes. No, yes. Yes. No, no. Yes, yes. No. He balls a fist at me, clearly frustrated. That's fucking epic. Enough of this interspecies Abbott and Costello routine. I hold up a finger. He unballs his fist and returns a gesture. I enter the frequency for what I think is no into my spreadsheet. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and we'll work it out later. I hold up the symbol 4. He holds up 3 fingers on one hand and 1 on another. I make a note of the frequencies. Wheel time! You fucking bent.
That fucking Etsy witch.
It's the Etsy witch, man. I have popcorn for the show. Y'all are a trip. Oh, look, they're a trip. Seriously, I can't believe it. All right, here we are. For the next several hours, we expand on our shared vocabulary in several thousand words. Language is kind of an exponential system. The more words you know, the easier it is to describe new ones. Communication is hampered by my slow and clumsy system. Listen to Rocky. I check the frequency he admits with one laptop, and then I look up my spreadsheet on the other laptop. It's not a great system. I've had enough. I exclude myself for an hour to write some software, but I'm no computer expert. But I know some rudimentary programming. I write a program to take the auto-analysis software output and look up the word in my tablet. It's barely even a program, more of a script. It's not efficient at all, but computers are fast. She's already home. Heck yeah. She's like, I got my snacks. I got all my stuff. And she's like, hell yeah. We might have to go get some taquitos tonight. I don't know, but that's I gotta wait till 11. Called Whataburger. Taquitos are different. We like Whataburger. It's just ours has just gotten the service has gotten the service has gotten shitey. That's all the problem is. That's all the problem is. All right, sorry. Back to the story. Unfortunately, Rocky speaks with the musical chords. While it's very difficult to make computer turn human speech into text, it's very easy to make a computer identify musical notes and find them in a table. From that point on, my laptop screen shows me the English translation of what Rocky is saying in real time. When a new word comes up, I enter it into my database and the computer knows it from then on. Rocky, meanwhile, doesn't use the system to record what I'm saying or doing. No computer, no writing implement, no microphone, nothing. He just pays attention. As far as I can tell, he remembers everything I told him. Smart as fuck, boy. I'm smart as fuck, boy. I wish.
Yo, if I was in space, we'd be fucked. I'm sorry. I'd be like. What? I'm sorry.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, if we're gonna get to cues, I guess I'm reading till at least 10:45. That way we ain't gotta wait. All right. Anyway, as far as I can tell, he remembers everything I told him, every word, even if it only told him once several hours earlier. If only my students were that attentive. I suspect Eridans have much better memories than humans. Broadly speaking, the human brain is a collective of software hacks compiled in a single, somehow functional unit. Each feature was added as a random mutation that solved some specific problem to increase our odds of survival. In short, the human brain is a mess. Well, no shit. And everything about evolutionary is messy, so I assume Iridians are a mess with whatever random mutations. But whatever led to their brains being how they are, it gave them whatever humans would call photographic memory. It's probably even more complicated than that. Humans have a whole chunk of our brains dedicated to sight, and it even in our own memory cache. Maybe Iridians are just really good at remembering sounds. After all, it's their primary sense.
It would be. It would be the most whimsical spaceship. I'd paint all over that thing. That's how I'd be communicating, drawing pictures.
Like cave woman. I am cave woman with pictures.
Caveless.
Caveless. There you go. I don't know. 3D, you figure it out, right? Maybe not. I don't know. I know it's too early, but I can't wait any longer. Wait. The primary senses. I know it's too. Wait. Is that the right page? Sorry, I want to make sure I'm on the right. Photographic memory. It's probably more complicated in humans and even more complicated, even more chunk of their brains dedicated to sight. After all, it is their primary sense. I know it's way too early, but I can't wait any longer. I get a vial of astrophage from the lab of supplies and bring it to the tunnel. I hold it up. Astrophage, I say. Rocky's entire posture changes. He hunkers his caprice a little lower. He tightens his claws a bit on the bars and he uses to keep in peace. He says, his voice more quiet than usual. I check the computer. It's not a word I've recorded yet. It must be his word for astrophage. I note it in the database. I point to the vial. Astrophage on my star, bad. I have no ideas. I'm just whistling for those. I'm sorry. Hey, Pixie, you made it. Welcome. The computer translate. Astrophage on my star, bad. Okay, theory confirmed. He's here for the same reason I am. I want to ask so many more questions, but we just don't have the words. It's infuriating. Rocky says, my computer pops up the next text. You come from where? Question. Rocky has picked up the basic word ordering of English. I think he realizes early on that I can't automatically remember stuff, so he works within my system rather than trying to teach me his. I probably seem stupid, honestly, but some of his own grammar streaks in once in a while. He always ends a question with the word question. You're making my... I'm making her birds whistle. That's legit. That's cool. I'm even being a show for the birds now. I like it. Where was I? It ends with the word question. No, I understand, I say. Your star is what name? Question. Oh, I say. He wants the name of my star. Soul. My star is called Soul. You know how many people don't understand that the sun's name is Soul? That's why it's the solar system. You know, people don't realize that. There are people out there that didn't realize that. Deadass. Understand. Iridian name for star is. I note down the new word. That's Rocky's word for soul. Unlike two humans fumbling for communication, Rocky and I can't even pronounce each other's proper nouns. Ali Grace didn't know that. See? We're teaching everybody things all the time.
Saki didn't know that.
Saki didn't know it either. There you go. My name for your star is Eridan, I say. Technically, we call it 40 Eridan, but I decide to keep it simple. Eridan name for my star is... I add the word to the dictionary. Understand. Good. I don't have to read the computer screen for that particular translation. I've started to recognize some words that are more frequent words like you, me, good, bad, etc. I've never been artistic, and I'm about as far from having a musical ear as anyone can be. I'm with you, Dr. Grace. But after you hear a chord 100 times, you tend to remember it. I couldn't tell you the difference between an A and a B and a C and a D.
No, that's notes.
Exactly.
Layers.
Exactly. I couldn't tell you, Jack. No, not or nothing.
You know what a song sounds like.
Money on a melody in my hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, I checked my watch. Yes, I have a watch now. The stopwatch has a clock feature. I took my, which I am tone deaf. You've heard me try to harmonize. Just stop.
No,
I
you're
love
really good. We do it all the time.
No, we're not good.
I think
Okay.
they want to hear it.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Where did the sun come? So where did the sun come from? What do you mean? Like the name of the sun?
I made the sun.
Or like where did the sun actually come from? Well, what are we asking here? I'm confused. Yes. She said yes. I asked 2 questions. Yes. I'm now even more confused. Yes. No. Yes.
so.
No. The name? I believe it's Latin or what Belle said. I would go with that one. I would have to gaggle that one. I have no idea. Yeah. All right. I checked my watch. Yes. I have a watch now. The stopwatch has a clock feature. It took me a while to notice. That dumbass. I had other things on my mind. We've been at it all day and I'm exhausted. Do Iridians even know what sleep is? I guess it's time to find out. Human bodies must sleep. Sleep is this. I curl up into a ball and close my eyes in an overdramatic representation of sleep. I make a fake snoring sound because I'm a bad actor. No, Ryan, you're a good actor, Ryan.
Yes.
I love that actor,
Ally
Ryan.
Grace said we should harmonize.
She said, no. Anyway, I return to normal and I point to his clock. Humans sleep for 29,000 seconds. Along with perfect memory, Iridians are good at math. At least Rocky is. As we work our way through the scientific units, it becomes immediately apparent that he has converted his units to mine in the blink of an eye, and has no problem understanding base 10. Many seconds, he says. Why be still so many seconds? Question. Understand. He relaxes his limbs and they go limp. He curls up like a dead bug and remains motionless for a while. Iridians, same. Oh, thank God. I can't imagine explaining sleep to someone who has never had to have it. Who has never heard of it. Hey, I'm going to fall unconscious and hallucinate for a while. By the way, I spent a third of my life doing this, and if I can't do it for a while, I go insane, and eventually, sure.
Oh.
No need for concern. I add this word for sleep to the dictionary. I turn to leave. I'm going to sleep now. I'll come back in 29,000 seconds. I observe, he says. You observe? I observe. Huh. He wants to watch me sleep. Dr. Lego's, oh, she's back. He wants to watch me sleep. In any other context, that would be creepy. But when you're studying a new life form, it's appropriate, I guess. I will be still for 29,000 seconds, I warn him. Many seconds. I will not do anything. I observe. Wait. He returns to his ship. Is he finally going to get something to take notes with? After a few minutes, he comes back with a device in one hand and a satchel in 2 more. I observe. I point to the device. What is that? I pulled some kind of tool out of his satchel. Not function. He pokes the device with the tool a few times. I change. Function. I don't bother to note down the new word. What would I enter it as? Thing Rocky has holding in one time? Whatever it is, it has a couple of wires sticking out and an opening that reveals some complex internals. The object itself is irrelevant. It's the point he is repairing it. New word for us. Fix, I say. You fix. He says. I added fix to the dictionary. I suspect it'll come up a lot. He wants to watch me sleep. He knows I'm not going to be exciting, but he wants to watch me do it anyway. So I brought him some work. So he brought some work with him to keep busy. Good Lord, I'm having a hard time with words tonight. Thank you. Okay, whatever floats his boat. Wait, I say. I return to the ship and head to the dormitory. I pull the mattress pad sheets and I blink from my bunk. I could use one or two things. I could use only one of the other two bunks, but they had what?
Rob's here.
Hey, what's up, Rob? Welcome. The other two bunks, but they had my dead friend in them, so I don't want to. I bring my pad and sheets through the lab, awkwardly through the control room and into the tunnel. I use my copious amounts of duct tape to affix a mattress pad to the wall. I cleanse up the sheet and blanket. I sleep now, I say. Sleep. I turn off the lights in the tunnel. Total darkness for me. No effect for Rocky, who wants to watch me. Best of both worlds. I shimmy into the bed and resist the urge to say goodnight. I would just lead to more questions. I drift off to the occasional clang and scrape of Rocky working on his device. And that earns us a button. Uh-oh, we got... It's on red rock. All right, here we go. Continuing on, the next several days are repetitive, but far from being boring. We greatly increase our shared vocabulary and a decent amount of grammar. Tenses, plurals, conditional language is tricky, but we're getting it piece by piece. And slow through the process is I'm memorizing more of his language. I don't need the computer as often, though I still can't go without it completely. That'll take a long time. I spent an hour every day studying and reading the vocabulary, and I made a little script to pick up random words on my Excel spreadsheet and play the notes with the MIDI app. Again, rudimentary program, inefficiently written for a computer, but as fast. I want to be free of a spreadsheet as soon as I can. For now, I still need it all the time, but once in a while I understand an entire sentence without resorting to the computer. Baby steps. Every night I sleep in the tunnel. He watches. I don't know why. We haven't talked about it yet. We've been too busy with other stuff. But he really doesn't want me to sleep without him watching. Even if I just want to take a quick nap. Today I went to work on an extremely important scientific unit that's been eluding us. Mainly because we live in 0G. We need to talk about mass. Yes. Kilogram. Right. How do I tell you about a kilogram, I ask. Rocky produces a small ball from a satchel. It's about the size of a ping pong ball. I know mass of this ball. You measure. You tell me how many kilograms a ball is. Then I know the kilogram. He thought it through. Yes, give me the ball. He hangs on the several support poles with various hands and puts it in the mini airlock. After a few minutes of waiting for it to cool, I have it in my hand. It's smooth and made of metal. Fairly dense, I think. How will I measure this, I mumble. 26. Rocky says out of nowhere. What about 26? He points to the ball in my hand. Ball is 26. Oh, I get it. The ball weighs 26 of something, whatever his unit is. Okay, all I have to do is work out the mass of this ball, divide by 26, and tell him his answer. I understand. The ball is a mass of 26. No, is not. Excuse me. I pause. It isn't? Is not. Ball is 26. I don't understand. He thinks for a moment, then says, wait. He disappears in his ship. While he's gone, I speculate on how to weigh something in 0Gs. It still has mass, of course, but I can't just put it on a scale. There's no gravity. And I can't spin up the Hail Mary centrifugal gravity the tunnel is connected to her nose. I could make a small centrifuge, something big enough for a small lab scale I have. rotate it a constant ray with the scale inside, measure something as the mass of it, and I could measure the ball. I could calculate the mass of the ball from the ratio of the two measurements, but I'd have to build a constant centrifuge. How would I do that? I can spin something in 0G, environment of the lab, easily enough, but how do I spin it at a constant rate across multiple experiments? Ugh, I don't need a constant rate. I just need a string with the center mark. I fly into the Hail Mary. Rocky will forgive me for running off. Heck, he can probably observe me from wherever he is on this ship anyway. I bring the ball down to the lab. I get a piece of nylon string and tie it to each end around the plastic sample canister. I now have a string with little buckets at each end. I put the canister next to each other, and I pull the now folded string taut. I use a pen to mark the furthest point, and that's the exact center of this contraption. I wave the ball back and forth with my hand to get a feel for its mass. Probably less than a pound, less than half a kilogram. I leave everything floating in the lab and kick my way down to the dormitory. Water, I say. Water requested, says the computer. The metal arm hands me a 0G sipper of water. Just a plastic pouch with a straw on it that only lets water through if you unlatch a little clip. And inside is 1 liter of water. The arm always gives me water, a liter at a time. You have to stay hydrated if you want to save the world. I return to the lab. I squirt about half the water into my sample box and seal it. I put the half depleted sipper into one of the buckets and the metal ball in the other. I set the whole thing spinning in the air. Two masses clearly aren't equal. The lopsided rotation of the center connects the container that shows the water side is much heavier. Good. That's what I wanted. I pluck it out of the air and take a sip of the water. I start spinning again. Still off center, but not as bad. I take one more sip do more spins, take more sips, do more, and so on until my little device rotates perfectly around the marked center point. That means the mass of the water is equal to the mass of the ball. I pull out the sippy. I know the density of the water is 1 kilogram per liter, so all I need to know is the volume of the water. Oh, I see. So all I need to know is the volume of this water to know its mass, and therefore the mass of the metal ball. He's so smart. I'm so glad they sent his ass up there and not my illiterate ass, because I wouldn't have figured this shit. I'd be like, what you want me to do? What you want me to do? It weighs ball. I know ball. I get a large plastic syringe from the supplies. I can pull up a maximum of 100 cc of volume. I attach it to the syringe to the sippy and unclip the straw. I draw out 100 cc of water, then squirt it into my wastewater box. I repeat this a few more times. The last syringe is only about a quarter full when I empty the bag. Results 325 cc's of water, which weighs about 325 grams. Therefore, Rocky's ball also weighs 325 grams. I return to the tunnel to tell Rocky about how smart I am. He starts to fist at me. You left. Bad. I measured the mass. I made a very smart experiment. He holds up a string with beads on it. 26. The beaded string is just like the ones that he sent me back when we talked about our atmospheres. Oh, I said. That's an atom. That's how he talks about atoms. I count the beads. There are 26 in all. He's talking about the element 26, one of the most common elements on Earth. Iron, I say. I point back at the necklace. Iron? He points to the necklace and says, I record the word in the dictionary. Iron, he says again, pointing to the necklace. Iron, he points to the ball in my hand. Iron. He takes a second to sink in, then slaps my forehead. You are bad. It was a fun experiment, but a total waste of time. Rocky was giving me all the information I needed, or at least trying to, at least. I know how dense iron is, and I know how to calculate the volume of the sphere. Getting the mass from there is just a little arithmetic. I pull up the calipers of the toolkit I keep in the tunnel and measure the sphere diameter. It's 4.3 centimeters from what I work out of the volume. Multiplied by the density of iron, I get a much more precise and accurate mass of 328.25 grams. He was only 3.25 grams off. That's pretty darn snazzy. That's pretty darn snazzy. I was only off by 1%, I grumble. You talk to you, question? Yes, I'm talking to me. Humans are unusual. Yes, I say. Rocky stretches his legs. I sleep now. Excuse me. Wow, I say. This is the first time he's had to sleep since we met. Good. This will provide me some time to work in my lab. But how much? How long do Iridians sleep? I don't know. You don't know? You're Iridian. How can you not know how long Iridians sleep? Iridians not know how long sleep lasts. Maybe short time, maybe long time. The sleep unpredictable amount of time. I guess there's no rule saying sleep has evolved as a regular pattern. Does he at least know a range of time it might be? Is there a minimum time? A maximum time? Minimum is 12,265 seconds. Maximum is 42,928 seconds. I often get strangely specific numbers from Rocky on things that I should be getting rough estimates. It took a long while to figure out, but I finally did. He actually is coming up with rough round numbers, but they're in his units. They're all base 6. They're actually easier for him to convert those values on base 10 Earth seconds than it is for him to think directly into Earth seconds. If I convert those values back to Iridian seconds and look at those numbers in base 6, I bet they'd be some round numbers, but I'm too lazy. Why unconvert data when he already converted it? I've never seen him be wrong at arithmetic. I'd never be right with arithmetic if I was having to do that shit, I'll tell you that. Meanwhile, I have divided by 60 twice on a calculator just to convert from one of my own planet's units to another one of my own planet's units. He'll sleep for a minimum of 3.5 and a maximum of 12 hours. I understand, I say. I head back to the airlock. You observe? Question? Rocky asks. He watched me sleep, so it's only fair I offer to let him. He watched me sleep, so it's only fair he offers to let me watch him. I'm sure Earth scientists would jump all over that place to learn anything about an Iridian sleeping looks like. But I finally have time to do some deep analysis of xenonite, and I'm just dying to know how xenon bonds with other elements. If I can get any of my lab equipment to work in 0G, that is. Not necessary. You observe? Question? He asks again. No. Observe. You want me to observe you sleep? Yes. Want. The unspoken agreement. A triple word means extreme emphasis. Being base 6 because he's got 6 fingers, right? Yeah. I agree on that one. I agree. Why? I sleep better, you observe. Why? He waves a few arms trying to find a phrase for it. Eridans do that. Eridans watch one another sleep. It's a thing. I should be multicultural sensitive. But he threw shade when he talked about myself. Eridans are unusual. Observe. I sleep better. I don't watch a dog-sized spider not move. I don't want to watch a dog-sized spider not move for several hours. There's a crew in there, right? Have one of them do it. I point to his ship. Have some other Iridian observe you. No. Why not? I'm only Iridian here. My mouth hangs open. You're the only person on that huge ship? He is quiet for a moment and says, complete nonsense. Did my clung together translation software fail? I'd check it out. No. Oh, you want to see how many letters it was? There you go.
Sweet mother of pearl.
That was a lot of letters. Complete nonsense. Did my clung together translation software fail? I'd check it out.
So cute.
No, it's working fine. I examine the waveforms. They seem similar to the ones I've seen before, but they're lower. Come to think of it, the whole sentence seemed lower in a pitch than anything Rocky has ever said before. I select the whole segment in a software recording history and bump it over an octave. The octave is a universal thing, not specific to humans. It means doubling the frequency of every note. The computer immediately translates. Original crew was 23. Now is only me. The octave dropped. I think it's emotion. Did they die? Yes. I rub my eyes. Wow. The Blip A had a crew of 23. Rocky is sole survivor. He is understandably upset about it. Well, where? I stammer. Bad. I sigh. My original crew was 3. Now it's just me. I put my hand on the divider. Rocky puts a claw on the divider opposite of my hand. Bad. Bad, 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 I say. We stay like that for a moment. I'll watch you sleep. Good. Me sleep, he says. His arm relaxes, and he looks for all the world like a dead bug. He floats free in his side of the tunnel, no longer hanging on any support bars. Well, you're not alone anymore, buddy, I say. Neither of us are. Whew. Man, that's such a good part. Boom, boom, boom. Chapter. Boom, boom. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. Book of Azrael and the Shadow Daddies. All right, what time it is? Ooh. This is the Shadow Daddies. Oh, next one is like 30-ish minutes. You want to do another one? Or you done for tonight? It's 10:15.
Doing that.
You want to do another one? All right, she wants to do one more. We're gonna do one more for the evening. Let's do it. Chapter 13. Mr. Easton, I don't think we need to be searched, said Strat. I think you do. What? Haha, nice. I think you do, he said, the head of the prison guard. His thick New Zealand accent sounded friendly, but there was an edge to it. This man had made his whole career of not putting up with people's crap. We're exempt from all. Stop, Easton said. No one gets in or out without a full search. Auckland Prison, which the locals call PAR for some reason, which New Zealand's only maximum security prison unit. The sole point of entry was awash with security cameras and a micro scanner for all the guests. Even the guards passed through the detectors on their way in. Easton's assistants and I stood off to the side while our bosses with their dispute. He and I look at each other and ahead with a mutual shrug. A small fraternal of underlings with stubborn bosses. I'm not turning over my taser. I can call your prime minister if you like, Strat said. Sure, said Easton. She'll tell you the same thing I'm about to tell you now. We don't let weapons anywhere near those animals in there. Even my own guards only have batons. There are some rules we don't change. Trying to hang... I got you, Belle. No worries. Seriously, Belle, I'm surprised you're still here, love, and just, like, go sleep. It's okay. I appreciate you staying here, though. I really do. We really do. We really, really do. Yes, if you pass out before we don't get to say goodnight, I hope you have sweet dreams. We all do. Yes, yes. There are some rules we don't change. I am fully aware of your authority, but it has limits. You're not magical. Mr. E. Torch, Easton said, holding out his hand. His assistant handed over a small flashlight. He clicked it on. Please open your mouth wide, Miss Strat. I need to check for contraband. Whoa, boy. I stepped forward before this got any worse. I'll go first. I opened my mouth wide. Easton shined a light into my mouth and looked this way. You're clear. Strat just glared at him. He held the flashlight at ready. I can get a female guard here if you're in much more favor of thorough searches. I can get a female guard in here and order a much more thorough search, if you like. For a few seconds, she did nothing. Then she pulled her taser from her holster and handed it over. She must have been tired. I've never seen her give up on her power trip before. Though I also haven't seen her get into an unuseless peeing contest before either. She had a lot of authority and wasn't afraid to flex when she needed it. But she usually wasn't one to argue when a simple solution was present. Soon guards escorted Strat and me through the cold gray walls of the prison. What the heck is wrong with you? I said. I don't like little dictators in their little kingdoms, she said. Drives me crazy. You can bend a little one once in a while. I'm out of patience, and the world is out of time. I held up a finger. No, 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 no. You just can't use that I'm saving the world as an excuse every time you're a jerk. She thought it over. Yeah, okay. You may have a point. We followed the guards down the long corridor to the maximum security unit. Maximum security seems like overkill, she said. 7 people died, I reminded her, because of him. It was accidental. It was criminal negligence. He got what he deserved. The guards led us around the corner. We followed along. The whole place was a maze. Why bring him here at all? Science. As always. I sighed. Can't say like this. Noted. We entered a stark room contained in a single metal table. On one side sat a prisoner in a bright orange jumpsuit. A balding man in his late 40s, maybe early 50s. He was handcuffed to the table. He didn't look like anything like a threat. Strat and I sat down opposite of him. The guards closed the door behind us. The man looked at us. He tilted his head slightly, waiting for someone to speak. Dr. Robert Reddles, Strat said. Call me Bob, he said. I'll call you Dr. Reddle. She pulled a file out of her briefcase and looked it over. You're currently serving a life sentence for 7 counts of culpable homicide. That's their excuse for me being here? Yes, he said. I piped up. 7 people died on your rig because of your negligence. Seemed like a pretty good excuse for you to be here. He shook his head. 7 people died because the control room didn't allow the procedure and activate the primary pumping station while workers were still in the reflector tower. It was a horrible accident, but it was an accident. Enlighten us then, I said. If the deaths of your solar farm weren't your fault, why are you here? Because the government thinks I embezzled millions of dollars. And why do they think that? I asked. Because I embezzled millions of dollars. He adjusted his shackles, wrists in more comfortable positions. But that had nothing to do with the deaths. Nothing. Tell me about your back panel power idea, Strat said. Back panel? He drew a blank. It was just an idea. I emailed that anonymously. Strat rolled her eyes. Do you really think email sent from a prison computer lab is anonymous? He looked away. I'm not a computer guy. I'm an engineer. I want to hear more about the black panel, he said. And if I like what I hear, I could reduce your jail time. So start talking. He perked up. Well, okay. Well, what do you want to know? Solar, thermal, power. Strat looked at me. I said, it's when you have a whole bunch of mirrors and set up a reflected to the sunlight to the top of the tower. If you get a few 100 square miles of mirrors focused all that sunlight at a single point, you can heat up water, make it boil. You can run a turbine. I turned to Strat. That's not a new trick. Heck, that's a fully functional thermal power plant in Spain right now. If you want to know about it, talk to them. She silenced me with a hand motion. And that's what you're making for New Zealand? Well, he said, it was funded by New Zealand, but the idea was to provide power for Africa. Why would New Zealand buy a bunch of money to help Africa? I asked. Because we're nice, Riddell said. Wow, I said. I knew New Zealand was pretty cool, and it was going to be a New Zealand-owned company. I charged for the power, Riddell said. There it is. He leaned forward. Africa needs infrastructure. To do that, they need power. And they'll have 9 million square kilometers of useless land that can get some of the most intense, continuous sunlight on Earth. The Sahara Desert is just sitting there, waiting to give them all they need. All we needed to do was build the damn power plants. No problem, Bill. Good night, love. Oh, she's there and she's back. She's there, she's back. I don't know if she's there. She's there, she's back. I think she's gone now. He flopped back in the chair, but every local government wanted a piece of the pie. Graft, bribes, payoffs, you name it. You think I embezzled a lot? Shit, that's nothing compared to what I had to pay in bribes just to build a solar plant in the middle of fucking nowhere. And then what, Strat said. He looked at his shoes. We built a pilot plant, 1 square kilometer mirror area. All of it focused on a large metal drum filled with water on the top of a tower. Boiling the water, run a turbine, you know the drill. I had a crew checking the drum for leaks. When everyone in the tower, the mills are supposed to be aligned and away. But someone in the control room fired up the whole system when they thought they were starting a virtual test, he signed. 7 people, all dead in an instant. At least they didn't suffer much. Someone had to pay. The victims were all New Zealanders, and so am I. So the government came after me. It was a farce trial. And the embezzlement? Excuse me. And the embezzlement, I said? He nodded. Yeah, that came up in the trial too. But I would have got away with it if it wasn't for them pesky little kids. I would have got away with it if the project was successful. I'm not to blame here. I mean, yeah, stealing money, okay. I'm guilty of that. But I didn't kill those people. Not through negligence or any other means. Where were you when the accident happened? Strat said. He paused. Where were you? She repeated. I was in Morocco on a vacation. You'd been there for 3 months on that vacation, gambling away your embezzlement money. I have a gambling problem, he said. I admit that. I admit it. I was gambling debt that made me embezzle in the first place. It's a sickness. What you looking for, babe? Looking for something? You dropped it. Oh, Lord. We have to find a piece of paint, apparently. We're looking for paint. This is a new adventure.
I'm sorry.
This is a new adventure for me. We're looking for paint. I don't see the paint, my love. I'm not seeing the paint. I'm not.
I found it.
Ah, she found it. It's in her box, not on the floor. We found the paint.
It was in my box.
Whoa. All right. Back to the story that we found the paint. All right, here we go. In the first place, it's a sickness, and what if you had been doing your job instead of on a bender for 3 months? What if you'd been there the day the accident happened? Would the accident still have happened? His expressions was answer enough. Okay, Strat said. Now we're past the excuses and the bullshit. You're not going to convince me you're an innocent scapegoat. And now you know that. So let's move on. Tell me about the black panels. Yeah, okay. He composed himself. I spent my whole life in the energy sector, so obviously astrophage is really interesting to me. A storage medium like that, man, if it weren't for what it's doing to the sun, it would be the greatest stroke of luck for humanity in history. He shifts in his seat. Nuclear reactors, coal plants, solar, thermal plants. In the end, they all do the same thing. Use heat to boil water. Use the steam to drive a turbine. But with astrophage, we don't need any of that crap. It turns the heat directly into stored energy. And it doesn't even need a big heat differential. Just anything above 96.415 degrees. We know that, I've said. I've been using that nuclear reactor to heat up and breed astrophage for the last several months. What'd you get? Maybe a few grams. My idea can get you 1,000 kilograms per day in a few years. You'll have enough for a whole Hail Mary mission. It'll take you longer than that to build the ship anyway. All right. You have my attention, I said. Of course. Strat hadn't told me anything about where a black panel was. Get a square of metal foil. Pretty much any metal will do. Anodize it until it's black. Don't paint it. Anodize it. Put clear glass over it and leave 1 centimeter gap between the glass and then the foil. Seal the edges with the brick, foam, and some other good insulator, then set it out to the sun. Okay, what good will that do? The black foil will absorb the sunlight and get hot. The glass will insulate it from the outside. Any heat loss has to pass through the glass, and that's slow. It'll reach an equilibrium temperature, well over 100 degrees Celsius. I nod. And at that temperature, you can enrich astrophage. Yes. But it would be ridiculously so, I said. If you had 1 square meter box in an ideal weather condition, say 1,000 watts per square meter of solar energy, that's about half a micron per day, he said, give or take. That's a far cry from 1,000 kilograms per day, he smiled. That's just a matter of how many square meters you make of it. You need 2 trillion square meters to get 1,000 kilometers per day. The Sahara Desert is 9 trillion square meters. My jaw dropped. That went by fast, said Strat. Explain. Well, I said, he wants to pave a chunk of the Sahara Desert with black panels, like a quarter of the entire Sahara Desert. It'd be the biggest thing ever made by humanity, he said. It'd be starkly visible from space. I glared at him. And it would be destroying the ecological of Africa and probably Europe. Not as much as the coming of the Ice Age will. She held up her hand. Dr. Grace, would it work? I fidgeted. Well, I mean, it's a sound concept, but I don't know if it's even possible to implement. This isn't like making a building or a road, and we're talking about literally trillions of these things. Riddell leaned in. That's why I designed the black panels to be made entirely out of foil, glass, and ceramics. All materials we have plenty of here on Earth. Wait, I said. How do the astrophage breed in this scenario? Your black panels will enrich them, sure, but they'll be breed ready. But there are a bunch of steps they need to go through to be when they breed. Oh, I know, he smirked. We have a static magnet in there to give the magnetic field the follow they'll need to kick off their migration response. Then we'll have a smaller IR filter on one part of the glass. It'll let the CO2 spectral signature wavelengths through. The astrophage will go through to breed. Then after dividing, they'll head toward the glass because that's the direction of the sun. We'll have a small pinhole somewhere on the side of the panel of the air exchange with it on the outside. It'll be slow enough that it doesn't cool down the panel, but fast enough to replenish the CO2 used by the astrophage while breeding. I opened my mouth to protest, but I couldn't find anything wrong with it. He thought it through. Well, Stroud said. As a breeder system, it's horrible, I said. Way less effective and far less yield than my system on the carrier's reactor. But he didn't design it for efficiency. He designed it for scalability. That's right, he said. He pointed to Strat. I hear you have godlike authority over the world, godlike authority over pretty much the whole world right now. That's an exaggeration, she said. Not much of one, though. Riddell continued. Can you get China to orient their industrial base around making black panels? Not just them, but pretty much every industrial nation on Earth? That's what it would take. She pursed her lips. After a moment, she said, yes. And you can tell the goddamn corrupt government officials in North Africa to stay out of the way. That part will be easy, she said. When this is all over, those governments will keep the black panels. They'll be the industrial energy powerhouse of the world. See? There we go, he said. Save the world and permanently lifted Africa out of poverty while we're at it. Of course, this is all just a theory. I have to develop the black panels and make sure we can mass produce it. I'll need to be in a lab instead of a prison. Strat molded over. Then she stood. Okay, you're with us. He pumped his fist. Yes! Score! Jones!
I'm Chode Barlow.
And I'm Jonas, and we have a song for you.
Just stay man right there. That is the Chud button. That is the Chode button. And as well, the book for that one is The Last Letter. Oh no! But hey, it's got 2 votes now. Ooh, that's always fun. All right, here we are. Continuing on. I wake up in my bed, which is mounted to the tunnel wall. The first night was clunked with duct tape. Since then, I leaned in that epoxy glue works well on xenonite, so I was able to attach a couple of anchor points and a mattress and mount the mattress properly. I sleep in the tunnel every night now. Rocky insists, and once every 86 hours or so, Rocky sleeps in the tunnel, and he wants to watch me. Well, he only sleeps 3 times or so. So far, my data on his waking period is a bit sparse, but he's been kind of consistent on it. I stretch out my arms and yawn. Good morning, Rocky says. It's pitch dark. I turn on my lamp mounted next to my bed. Rocky has an entire workshop set up on his side of the tunnel. He's always making modifications or repairs to something or other. Seems like his ship is constantly in need of a repair. Right at this moment, he holds an oblong metal device with two of his hands and uses the other two to poke at the innards of the needle-like tools. The remaining grasps in a handle on the wall. Morning, I say. I'm going to eat. I'll be back. Rocky waves absently. Eat. I float down to the dormitory, my morning ritual. I eat a pre-packed breakfast, scrambled eggs with pork sausage and a bag of hot coffee. It's been a few days since I last cleaned up, and I can smell my own body odor. Not a good sign. So I sponge off at the sponge bath station and I get the clean jumpsuit. All of this technology, and I haven't seen any means of cleaning clothes. So I've taken to soaking it in water and putting it in the lab freezer for a while. Kills off any germs, and those or whatnot cause the smell. Fresh, not clean clothes. I pulled the jumpsuit on. I've decided today is the day. After a week of honing our language skills, Rocky and I are ready to start having real conversations. I can't even understand him without having to look at the translation about a third of the time now. I float back to the tunnel, sipping the last of my coffee. Okay, finally. I think we have the words needed for this discussion. Here goes. I clear my throat. Rocky, I am here because astrophase makes Soul sick, but doesn't make Tau Ceti sick. Are you here for the same reason? Rocky puts the device on his tool and his bandolier and climbs along the support rails to the divider. Good. He understands. This is a serious conversation. Yes. No, understand why Tau sick, but Iridan is sick. Tau not sick, but Iridan is sick. If astrophage no leave Iridan, my people die. Same, I say. Same. If astrophage continues to infect Soul, all the humans will die. Good. Same. You and me save Iridan and Soul. Yes. Why do other humans on your ship die? Question, Rocky asks. Oh, so we're gonna go talk about that. I rub the back of my head. Well, we slept all the way here. Not normal sleep. A special sleep. A dangerous sleep, but necessary. My crewmates died, but I didn't. Random luck. Bad, he says. Bad. Why did the other Iridians die? I not know. Everyone gets sick, then everyone die. His voice quivers. I'm not sick. I not know why. Bad, I say with a sign. What kind of sick? He thinks for a moment. I need word. Small life. Single thing, like astrophage. Iridan body made of many of these. Cells, I say. My body has many cells also. He says the Iridan word for cell, and I add it to the notes of our ever-growing dictionary. Cell, he says. My crew have many problem with cells. Many cells die. Not infection, no injury, no reason, but not me. Never me. Why? Question? I not know. Each individual cell in the affected Iridan died. That sounds horrible. It also sounds like radiation sickness. How am I going to describe that? I shouldn't have to. If there are spacefaring people, they should already understand radiation. We don't have a word for it between us yet. Though, let's work on that. I need a word. Fast-moving hydrogen atoms, very fast. Hot gas. No, faster than that. Very fast. He wiggles his caprice. He confused. I try another approach. Space has very fast hydrogen atoms. They move almost the speed of light. They were created by stars long ago. No. Mass in space. Space is empty. Oh boy. No, that's wrong. There are hydrogen atoms in space. Very fast hydrogen atoms. Understand? You didn't know that. No. I stare in shock. How can a civilized development space travel without ever discovering radiation? What? And that brings us to a wheel spin. Woo, we get lots of spins tonight. We got about 15 minutes in our read tonight, folks. 15 more minutes, according to my little fancy device. Hey, what's up, Q? Hope you're having a good night. House of the Beating Wings again. That has got 4 votes. It's the summertime. We can do things like that. We just here having fun reading some books now. I can't believe I said that. Who the fuck? Anyway, digressing. Never did I ever think I would say that. All right. Where are we? Yeah, I know, right? Go figure. Never did he ever, right? Never did I ever. All right. Dr. Grace, she said. Dr. Locken, I said. We sat across from each other at the small steel table. It was a tiny room, but spacious by the aircraft carrier standards. I didn't quite understand its original purpose, and its name was written in Chinese characters. But I think it was a place for the navigator to look at charts. Thank you for making the time to see me, she said. Not a problem. As a rule, we tried to avoid each other. Our relationship had matured from annoyed with each other to very annoyed with each other. Fair. I was as much a part of the problem as she was, but we got off on the wrong foot all those months ago back in Geneva and never really improved. Oh, no worries, Q, no worries. I gotcha. All right. I think she bounced. I don't want to keep going. Of course, I don't think this is necessary. Neither do I said, but Strat insisted you run this stuff by me, so here we are. I have an idea, but I want your opinion. She pulled out a file and handed it to me. CERN is going to release this paper next week. This is a rough draft, but I know everyone is there, so they'll let me see an advance copy. I opened the folder. Okay, what is this about? They figured out how astrophage stores energy. Really? I gasped. Then I cleared my throat. Really? Yes, and frankly, it's amazing. She pointed to the long graph on the first page. Long story short, it's nenotrons. Nenotrons. I shook my head. How the heck? I know, it's very counterintuitive, but there's a large nenotron burst every time they kill an astrophage. They took samples into the Ice Cube Nenotron Observatory and punctured them in the main detector pool. They got a massive number of this astrophage can only contain nenotrons if it's alive. And there's a lot of them in there. How does it make nenotrons? She flipped a few pages in her paper and pointed to another. This is more your area than mine, but microbiologists have confirmed that astrophage has a lot of hydrogen ions, raw protons with no electrons, zipping around inside that cell membrane. Yeah, I remember reading that. It was a group a Russian had found out. She nodded. CERN is pretty sure that enough of a mechanism that... CERN is pretty sure that through a mechanism we don't understand, when these protons collide at a high enough velocity, their kinetic energy is converted into two nenotrons with the opposite momentum vectors. I leaned back, confused. That's really odd. Mass usually doesn't just happen like that. She wiggled her head. Not quite true. Sometimes gamma rays, when they pass close to an atom nucleus, will spontaneously become an electron and a positron. It's called pair production, so it's not unheard of, but we've never seen neutrons created that way. That's kind of neat. I never got too deep in the atomic physics. I've never heard of a pair production before. Yeah, me neither. It's a thing. Okay. Anyway, she said, there's a lot of complicated stuff about neutrons I won't get into. There are different kinds, and they can even change what kind they are. But the upshot is, this is an extremely small particle. Their mass is something like 1/20 billionth the mass of a proton. Wait, I said. We know astrophage is always at 96.415 degrees Celsius. Temperature is just the velocity of the particles. We should be able to calculate the velocity of the particle inside, she said. Yes, We know the average velocity of a proton, and we know their mass, which means we know their kinetic energy. And I know where you're going with this, and the answer is yes. It balances. Wow! I put my hand on my forehead. That's amazing. Yes, it is. That's the answer to the long-ass question. Why is astrophage critical temperature what it is? Why is it not hotter? Why not colder? Astrophase makes neutrons in pair by slamming protons together. For the reaction to work, the protons need to collide with a higher kinetic energy than the mass energy of two neutrons. Of course! It was right there the whole time. If you work backward from the mass of the neutron, you know the velocity of those protons have to collide at. And when you know the velocity of the particles in an object, then you know its temperature. Duh. It's fucking stupid atomic science 101. Like, come on, guys. To have enough kinetic energy to make neutrons, the protons have to be at 96.415 degrees Celsius. Oh man, I said. So any heat energy above the critical temperature will just make the protons collide harder. Yes, they make neutrons have leftover energy. What? Hey, Ash, what's up? What's up? What's up? Then they bump into their protons, etc. And then they heat energy above the critical temperatures and quickly get converted into neutrons. But if it drops below the critical temperature, the protons are going too slow and neutron production stops. And results? Can't get it hotter than 96.415 degrees. Not for long, anyway. And if it gets too cold, the astrophage uses stored energies to heat back up to that temperature, just like any other warm-blooded life form. She gave me a moment to let all that sink in. CERN really came through, but a couple of things still bother me. Okay, so it makes neutrons, I said. How does it turn them back into energy? That's the easy part. So easy. Neutrons are what's called a Majorian particle. It means the neutron is its own antiparticle. Basically, every two neutrons collide, it's a matter-antimatter interaction. They annihilate and become photons. Two photons actually with the same wavelength and going the opposite direction. And since the wavelength of a photon is based on the energy in the photon, the Petrova wavelength. Of course, it was right. It's so basic. I should have known. I yelped. She nodded. Yep, the mass energy of a neutron is exactly the same as the energy found on one photon of the Petrova line wavelength. This paper is truly groundbreaking. Right, Vega? Of course. It was the whole time. I rested my chin in my hand. Wow. Just wow. I guess the only remaining question is, does astrophage keep neutrons inside? We don't know. Neutrons routinely pass through the entire planet, Earth, without hitting a single atom. They're just that small. Well, it's more of a quantum wavelength and probabilities of collision. But to suffice it to say, neutrons are famously hard to interact with. But for some reason, astrophase has what we call the super cross-sectionality. Of course they do. That's just a fancy term meaning nothing can quantum tunnel through it. So why don't we just say it can't quantum tunnel through it? Sorry, digressing. It goes against every law in particle physics we have thought we known, but it's been proven over and over. Yeah, I tap my finger on the table. It absorbs all the wavelengths of light, even wavelengths that should be too large to interact with. Yes, she said. Turns out also collides with all the matter that tries to get by, no matter how likely that collision should be. Anyway, as long as the astrophage is alive, it exhibits the super cross-sectionality. And that brings us nicely to what we want to talk to you about. Oh? I say? There's more? Yes. She pulled a diagram of the Hail Mary hole out of this bag. This is what I need you for. I'm working on radiation protection from the Hail Mary. I perked up. Of course. Astrophage will block it all. Maybe, she says. But I need to know how space radiation works to be sure. I know the broad stroke, but not the details. Please enlighten me. I fold my arms. Well, there's two kind, really. High energy particles emitted by the sun and GRCs that are just kind of everywhere. Start with the solar particles, she said. You gotta watch that capo, my guy. We are a family-friendly show. You thinking? Good googly moogly. At least pay for it. Good lord. And start with the solar particles, she said. Sure. Solar particles are just hydrogen atoms emitted by the sun. Sometimes a magnetic storm on the sun can cause them to spit out a whole bunch of them. Other times it's relatively quiet. And lately, the astrophage infection has been robbing so much energy from the sun that the magnetic storms are less common. Horrifying, she said. I know. Did you hear that global warming has almost been undone? She nodded. Humanity's recklessness with our own environment accidentally brought us an extra month of time by preheating the planet. See, we're doing good just keep on the global warming. We're saving it for the astrophage. I'm just saying. Well, we fell in poop and came out smelling like roses, I said. His inability to cuss is fucking wild. She laughed. I haven't heard that one. We don't have that expression in Norwegian. Well, you do now, I smiled. She looked down at the whole plan, a little faster than I think was necessary. But whatever. How fast do these solar particles travel, she asked. About 400 kilometers per second. Good. We can ignore them. She scrambled some notes to herself on the paper. The Hail Mary will be going way faster than that within 8 hours. They won't be able to catch up, let alone do any damage. I whistle. That's really amazing what we're doing. I mean, geez. Astrophage would be the best thing ever if it weren't, destroying the sun. I know, she said. Now tell me about GCRs. Those are a little trickier, I said. It stands for Galactic Cosmic Rays, she said. And they're not cosmic rays, right? Right. They're just hydrogen ion protons, but they're going a lot faster. They're going near the speed of light. Why are they called cosmic rays if they're not even electromagnetic emissions? People used to think they were. The name stuck. Do they come from some common source? Nah, they're omnidirectional. They're made by supernovas, which happen all over the place. We just kind of constantly awash with CGRs in all directions. And they're a huge problem for space travel. But not anymore. I leaned forward to look at her schematic again. It was a cross-section of the hull. There was a 1 millimeter void between two walls. Are you going to fill that area with astrophage? That's the plan. I ponder the schematic. You want to fill the hole with fuel? Oh no, I gotta do the button. We almost missed the button, the puzzle piece. We only had, unable to verify. I only had 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. Whew, that's all right. I only had 3 minutes of the page left. That would have been funny. Anyway, digressing. That plan doesn't actually freak me out though. Like when they say they want to put fuel in the hole, that's like what they did with the SR-71 fucking Blackhawk or the SR-71, the supersonic spy plane. Like the plane leaks fuel on the ground because it's designed anyway, digressing. If y'all want to talk about that, I'll tell you about that one later. Anyway, okay. If I were only to see the CO2 band of light, if it doesn't see CO2, it won't do anything. And it'll be in the dark between the hulls. Dimitri's plan to make a fuel slurry out of astrophage and low viscosity oil to make it easier to transport to the engines. I want to line the hull with that stuff. I pinched my chin. That could work. Astrophage can die from physical trauma. You can kill one by poking it with a sharp nanostick. That's why I asked CERN to do some off-the-books experiments for me as a favor. You know, when you can have CERN, yeah, exact. Wow, CERN will just do whatever you want. Like, are you a mini strat or something? Exactly. Like, you got CERN doing shit for you? You are balling. She chuckled. Old friends and contacts. Anyway, They found even particles moving near the speed of light can't get past astrophage, and none of them seem to kill each other. That actually makes a lot of sense, I said. It evolved to live on the surface of stars. They must get bombarded by energy at a very fast-moving particle all the time. She pointed to a zoom-in schematic of astrophage canals. The entire radiation load would be halted. All we need is a layer of astrophage slurry thick enough to guarantee there's always an astrophage cell in the way of any incoming particles. 1 millimeter should be more than enough. Plus, we don't waste any mass. We'll be using the fuel itself as an insulation. And if the crew needed that last bit of astrophage, well, we'll consider a reserve. A reserve. That could power New York City for 20,000 years. Yeah, not a big deal. She looked at the diagram, then back at me, then back at the diagram, then back to me, then back at the diagram, then back to me. Hey, you want to do it? No, I'm just playing. That's not what it says. You do all that math in your head? Yeah, I had some shortcuts. You're dealing with such an absurd scale of energy here. I tend to think New York City years of energy, which is about 1/2 of 1 gram of astrophage. Damn, could you imagine if we had that shit? That'd be awesome. She rubbed her temples, and we need to make 2 million kilograms of it. If we make a mistake along the way, we'll save astrophage for the trouble of destroying humanity by doing it ourselves, I say. Yeah, I think about that a lot. So, what do you think? She said. Is this a terrible idea, or could it work? I think it's genius. She just smiled and looked away. Don't stop with the chairs, you silly. Wow, you got feisty all of a sudden. Ooh, yeah, that's a good stopping point. Next chapter's 41 minutes. That's a good stopping point. We got to chapter 14 today. How many chapters did we read? So we read what? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We read 16. Did we read? We read what? 9, 10, 11, 12. We read 5 chapters today? No, 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We read 6 chapters today. We did 6 chapters today. Yeah, we did 9 to 14. Nice. Nice. We are almost halfway. There's only a 30 chapter book. We're at 14. We're almost halfway through the books. Let's get your last wheel spin for those few of us that are still here. Woo! I do want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. I know it was a little bit longer. We started early and we hung out longer, but I am really, really enjoying this story. So I just want to keep going. What are we ending with? Oh, we finally got it. We finally got it. Finally. Shield of Sparrows. That being said, once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. And hopefully, if y'all aren't busy tomorrow with Father's Day, we will see y'all tomorrow for brunch, where me and this amazing woman here are going to try to paint. Well, she going to paint, and I'm just going to try to mess it up. You know what's crazy? Did I miss the scene where they danced? I think I did. Yeah. That's what I'm beginning. All right, well, here, since y'all are here and I missed the scene, I did miss the scene when they first met. Okay, Veg, I'm sorry you get to miss it, but here, since you get to miss it, here, check this out. I was supposed to play this when Rocky and Grace met, but I missed it. But here you go. Enjoy. This is what y'all get for staying here all night. I don't know what we do. Why do we do these things? Why do you let me do these things? Why? Why do we do this? I don't even know what's going on. All right. Oh, that was funny. Oh, the things we do for a giggle. The things we do for a giggle. Hey, one more time. All right. And then we're going to go with this one on the way out just because I like it so much. Woo woo. Big. Have a safe trip tomorrow. Everybody else, Aphrodite, DW, thank you too for hanging out with me. Thank you for the little corgi butt, DW. I'm glad you're back. Sorry about all the laundry you got to do. But hopefully we will see y'all tomorrow.